think we're good up here, James. What do you think?
We're ready to roll.
That's it. We're catching the first of the qualifiers here for the first endurance of the season.
For a change, the racers are ready to go before we are, which is surprising. I did not expect that whatsoever.
I love it.
I need to refresh the scoreboard here for you guys that are joining us. Hey, thanks for coming along. We've joined us the start of a brand new season of endurance racing. You see cars out on track trying to get their qualifying times in today. Jason, we've had a great response today. We have 23 drivers driving tonight, which is the biggest field we've ever had.
Awesome. So 3 qualifiers to break everybody down, and then from there it'll be A main, B main races. So 2 30-minute races for the finals for everybody. So this is awesome. I am so excited to see everybody starting to get the understanding of how fun endurance races are with indoor electric karting here at K1 Speed Canton.
And, of course, we got Marshall Miller back, who is always topping the charts no matter what lap he's on, starting off with a 26.1. That's one way to get it started, the number 19 machine. With this number of drivers tonight, we're going to divide them into 3 groups. You're going to basically see 3 groups of 8 during their qualifying. We don't give them a lot of time because the main race is the most important thing to us.
Yep.
As we see him go purple once again, jumping into the 25.
I was going to say, 25s are not out of the question here. So I wanted to point something out on the scoreboard for those who are catching us this season. Mark Davis currently running in 6th in Kart 5. He is designated with that R there, and that is for our rookie class. I know I saw it in the chat. Someone was asking about younger drivers getting involved, and you can jump in as a rookie.
He's normally here rooting us on from the chat, so it's great to see him actually in a car tonight. Very excited to have him starting the Endurance Series, which we love the fans. Thanks for joining us, but at the same time, we also love the people being here in the car, which is even better.
I love the translation between watching and then switching over to getting in the kart and trying it yourselves. We've said it 1,000 times how fun it is. You got to come out and try this, and I'm so glad to see people like Mark Davis come out and try it.
Got a couple of onboards for you. We got Marshall Miller obviously starting up there, and we've got PJ Manypenny, who is our regular endurance racer.
Since the beginning.
Since the beginning. Glad to have him on board as well. And who else we got? We got Jacob Ryan, finally. We got him moved over to the Endurance Series, finally.
Yes.
So we've seen him running GP, and we've seen him running a lot of arrive and drive races. Good to have him in GP.
Didn't he pop into the 12 hours, too?
Yeah, he did. Well, he not only popped in, he did a third of his team's race. White flag's going to fly as we look at the final on board, which is Rachel Hart. She's sitting in the number 2 spot of the 21 machine, or the 25.8 right now.
Separated by less than a tenth. 25.877 is going to take it from Marshall on the last lap here. Rachel's at a 25.885. So lots of 25s on the board, and the slowest we have so far is a mid-26, which is really good.
Oh, Rachel just bested him at the very end there.
Last lap
25.667.
All right.
Now, what they're going to do here, because we got a lot of new drivers tonight, is after they're done, they're going to go back here to the pit lane entrance, and they're going to practice, because a lot of these drivers haven't felt what this is like yet. You see Marshall just jetted into that spot back there. They're going to – oh, he stopped.
I don't know why he stopped like that.
We told him in the driver's meeting, keep your foot on the throttle, and he, of all people, should know how that works, but okay.
And this is the drive-through lane. They take this and drive through, looks like row number 1, all the way out back onto the track where they'll get re-accelerated.
Yeah, so this is just the practice for the people who haven't done this before, and Marshall's going to go back out on track to re-accelerate the car. Like, I think Rachel had stopped because she wasn't sure what she was supposed to do.
Yeah.
As we check Jacob Ryan.
It's a good practice for everybody to get back out on track and try it. Probably you as viewers, too. As we ride along with Jacob Ryan, there's something I'd like to point out, which is coming up here in a couple of turns. You guys will get a front row seat of our brand new pit lane because we haven't had this yet for our Endurance Series. You enter in right here. Kart automatically slows you down to the pit lane speed. And you go into the pits. So that is a new addition for the Endurance.
Casually kick up your left foot like a Jacob Ryan does.
Right.
There you go. And they're going to split the field, park the cars, and that's your first round of qualifier. So basically that's your time to beat, your 25.66. People are going to be shooting for that time. As we're joining you up here in the booth. Since we didn't get to say hi officially.
Hey, guys.
Hi, everybody.
I'm back up in the booth, which is great.
I like the chat from Wyatt, he says, where can we bet on these races? I guess that's kind of up to you guys.
We've thought about that. Stay tuned.
And Leighton says, hey guys, welcome. Of course, Marshall's pulling 25s already. Yeah, but did you see how many other people were pulling 25s? So we're good. We got some fans of Mark in there. And Mom and Dad are watching Mark. Let's go. All right.
There you go.
We'd like to interact with you guys. We appreciate you guys hanging out on a Sunday evening with us.
Yeah.
So
it's fun.
We're going to start the Endurance series with back-to-back races because the 12 hours was in the month of March, and we didn't get an endurance race in. People were kind of taking a break.
Yeah, it was nice.
We all need a break.
We all needed it after that one.
Got some time to grab a breath of air and step away from endurance racing for a little bit and then come back in full swing, and I'm excited about that because I would love all these drivers to come back back-to-back weeks. But they do have the option. So they have to like what they do tonight in order to come back next week, I think.
Yeah, I love the rookie part of this, and I love Mark Davis popping in. If you're in the chat, come out and try it. The Arrive and Drive carts are fantastic. So I know, catching up on the 12 hours for a second, we did not run with our new batteries that we were hoping for.
Correct.
However, the new batteries are in the carts.
They're here.
It's I know it's a load of relief, fresh air for you to not have to worry about the balancing and everything else, but it just makes the entire experience here something one of a kind at these facilities, and we can do stuff like the Endurance that no one else can. It's a lot of fun.
It's been a way bigger challenge than I thought it was going to be. But the team here has done a great job of getting those batteries installed, getting our telemetry updated. I'll try to pop that on screen for you guys today just to show you some stuff. But really, the idea and the goal and the data that we have so far shows that this race is going to be no problem to run.
Yeah.
All 30 minutes on one set of batteries. But we're still going to do the car swaps because it's just part of the strategy of the race.
So Giovanni in Kart 22. Now,
All right.
Giovanni...
Let's touch on Giovanni.
Just got back from California, right?
That's right.
And
he is the brand new K1 Speed Junior GP World Champion.
That is a World Championship driver at the age of what? 12?
11, I think.
11?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Because he's going to let one of the drivers buy him to get some clear track space.
He is, I saw him racing the 12 hours. Actually, he's wearing his Downhill Burrito shirt. And what a competitive kid, but what a really nice kid. Great family, and he's just a very, very nice kid. Very humble, but he is going to be a force to be reckoned with when it comes to driving karts for sure.
We were so proud of him representing the Canton K1 Speed. There was a lot of drivers involved in that championship. It was narrowed down into a national championship, and then the following day they advanced to the Worlds, which had Mexican and Canadian drivers mixed in. Sorry, they didn't have representatives from Mexico. They had representatives from Canada. Mm-hmm. And Giovanni took pole, dominated with both of his qualifiers, and led the field. So
that's
congratulations
awesome
to him.
And we've got K1 Speed or K1 Canton racers going out in a couple of months for the World Championship that I think this facility produces some of the best drivers. So I think we've got a really good shot with the adults and teens that are going to be representing Ohio in the World Championship coming up soon.
If you look at the scoreboard, the number 3, Lee Ferguson, with the bracket with the R, that's a rookie. We are separating the drivers into the rookie class so that we can give them their own series points, and those are going to get accumulated throughout the next 6 races. Tristan bumping up there with a purple, 26.2. And that way they're the rookies are incentivized to run in their own class.
Yeah, it's not as much pressure. I like bigger races like this because we're going to see a 2-heat final, which is going to, if I was to guess, newer drivers probably running in the B group. They're going to feel a lot more comfortable in that group. They're not going to be, dealing with 25 drivers at every single lap. They're going to be able to go at their own pace, learn, come back, try it again. And the faster you get, the more incentive you have, and you're just going to get better and better, and you're going to end up winning. So Tristan's still holding strong with a 26.225, followed by Brandon Kovac at a 27.080. So,
and Tristan keeps knocking him down there. He's
lower and lower.
Yeah,
every lap.
Making improvement. We did sort the drivers by their K1RS standings so that we had some sort of classification to go off of. A lot of the drivers are new. Some of them haven't even raced here before.
Really?
And some of them, I've met some tonight. And the other ones have raced here a lot, as we all have familiar faces, obviously. But
That is crazy. I love the idea, and I've told this to many people. When I first started coming here and we started the Endurance Series, it was pretty casual, and then we started taking it incredibly serious. But I told people, bang for the buck, dollar for dollar, the best racing to learn how to race here at K1 Speed Canton is the Endurance. You have the most track time. You've got a lot of different abilities. You're able to get behind a faster person, learn their line for 30 minutes. It's the best way to learn how to race, so I'm glad to see that.
It's that great repetition, because you get in a car for an arrive and drive race, and you got 11 laps to try to figure it out. By the time you get to lap 8 or 9, maybe 10, and you feel like you got the car underneath you, you kind of end the race. So this is a good opportunity to run as many laps as you want to in that car. Yeah,
and your cart will warm up. That's the huge benefit, and the awesome thanks to James for the investment of the brand new lithium-ion batteries we have here that we're able. Looks like you just missed the pit, so we'll go around another time with him. Not a big deal, Mitch. You're learning.
That's why we're practicing.
Yep. And so actually, no, this is their drive-through. I think Mitch just missed their drive-through practice. But anyway, it's really cool to see the translation of it, because with the lithium batteries, there's no die-off on the cart. Like at other cart places, you have 2, 3, 4 laps to really get a good burner lap in. With these, by the time you get to lap 8, 9, 10 into the 20s, your cart is really warm. Your tires are warm. You're getting a good handle of the line, and you're just going to be faster and faster. The cart gets faster. There is no die-off of power. I absolutely adore these carts.
And so tonight they get to practice making a swap, and they're going to use the 2 rows to jump out of one car and back in the other. So we'll see that as time evolves. But we just want to give them a feel for what this is like, because right here, you're coming out of pit lane, and there's an electronic sensor that re-accelerates the car. And if you've never driven the track before, that's completely new. So
yeah, it's not something we do for arrive and drive races here, but it is something getting into some of the clubs here and some of the different series that we run. It's a lot of fun. We're able to do a lot of fun, creative stuff.
As we see the number 12 machine of Mitch, who had gone back out there after his drive-through, I believe.
Yeah, he's just getting the hang of it. That's all right. Hey, we all start somewhere, Mitch. That's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing with K1 Speed. I mean, we're arrive and drive. You get to sign up. You come run a race like this. It's cool.
Latent Thesis Racing saying 12-hour burnout was rough. Yeah, you're telling me. I don't think I came here for a few weeks. I needed a break, but so did everybody. So it's really good to be back at it, though. I am so excited to get this series going again. Giovanni, look at him. Doesn't even, he's so young, he doesn't realize that being a world champion already is something. He's such a calm, cool, collected kid. Just a really nice guy.
Well, did you happen to watch the video that K1 posted this week of the recap?
I did not, no.
Check out K1 Speed's YouTube page, because the interview with him, they said, what's your strategy? And Giovanni literally said, if somebody behind me is slow or faster than I am, I'm going to let him by.
I love it.
And that's the kind of great mentality he has. I mean, Ryan, the interviewer, was like, what did you say? Like, this is a world championship. Well, but no, he acknowledged that if he wasn't fast enough, he was going to let him by. So.
And that's a really good mentality. That's what I tell everybody coming into endurance races. That's okay if you're not as fast as the person behind you. Let them by and just put your bumper on theirs. You're not going to bother them if you're right behind them. You're learning the line, and that's only going to make you faster. I think that's something that we've said across the board so many times in these different races, and I'm glad to see, an 11-year-old's picking up on it. So that's great, but he's out front the entire time. He doesn't have to worry about it.
Well, and that's what Leighton is indicating up here. The Teen GP is going to be awesome, because when the teens and the adults go out to California, we're excited about the representation of the Canton drivers. And yeah, the pressure's on, Leighton. You guys have the shoes to fill a world champion right there.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully we put a few more on the board this year. I know David Ponce, Rachel Hart, and Armand Deligny going out this year.
Correct.
Awesome. I think I'm going to tag along and see if I can't go live for some of it. Figure something out, see if I can't get you guys a sneak peek into what's going on with the World Championship.
So in Heat 1, our slowest time was a 26.3. Heat 2, fastest time was a 26.1. So we'll see a little bit of overlap here.
And really, in reality, the slowest time being a 27.4, second slowest time 26.9. That's not bad for your first time out. Those times are going to come down by the time this 30-minute race is done.
So this time out, we'll have Dave, Josh, Jeremiah, Mitch, Dominic, Clay, and Dane. A lot more rookies in this class, but we'll see what they can do. The idea with 7-lap qualifying is to give you the biggest challenge we can do because we don't need you to wear out before the 30-minute race. So.
Yeah, and 30 minutes as a new driver, I know it's going to happen. We've seen it many times before where, they'll come out of the kart for the first time, especially if this is your first time here.
It's rough.
You jump into a 30-minute race, you're going to see them shaking their arms while they're driving. I remember the first time. It was hard on my arms.
I still do car testing to this day and get out of the car after about 30 laps and go, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. That's enough for today.
Yeah.
These guys will probably be running up right around 65 laps tonight.
Yeah, and for you guys watching, it's really cool with these onboards. We're able to jump on, and you'll see some of the drivers here as Jeremiah slides out a little bit wide there. You can almost compare lines, and I think this is the coolest part about streaming this is that these guys can go back, watch all the races, and we're on board with some of the fastest drivers. We're on board with, everybody throughout the field. You're able to kind of see how to drive this track most efficiently. Now, you can't really see the footwork, which is kind of important, but it gives you a better idea of what line is the fastest, and I think it's really cool to be able to go back and see that.
As you're on board right now with Clay Cutler, sorry, try to pronounce that correctly. Oh, he was momentarily up at the top of the leaderboard, and then Dane pushed him down to 27.1. And just to give you a gauge, we talk about the lap times and the tracks. As number 24 is going to squeeze in there. 27 seconds and below we consider pro times.
Correct. Yep.
Just to give you an idea, like what the normal tracks are.
And, Mitch Ferguson down there in 7th place right now with a 28.873, and that is not Giovanni Blackerby.
No, I think it's Dane.
Yeah.
They just have the name in the wrong spot.
But you'll see, for your first time out, that is not a bad time at all. 2 seconds seems like an eternity on a racetrack when you're racing it, but really once you get a good clean line and you're running it nice and smooth, I really expect that the slowest time will be in the 27s here for the finals because you're just able to drop that much time running a longer race. So long as you don't get too tired out.
I know. Well, and that's the other strategy. So we got pit stop strategy playing in and fatigue setting in tonight, and those are the key elements to this particular race.
It is. Love endurance racing, especially that we can do it with electric karts. And soon, today would have been great, but soon it'll be the outdoor track. It's outdoor season, so the track will open up to the outdoors, but it's too cold tonight. We had nice 60, 70-degree weather here in Northeast Ohio, but it dropped back down to the 40s.
The only thing that I like about that is it helps us with our indoor setup, so
it does.
We weren't ready to go outdoor just yet. We did have the track open, so for those of you who haven't visited yet, track outdoor is open, weather permitting. And Marshall was already here this week setting his track record as well as David. They were kind of battled it back and forth for a little bit.
I saw that, yeah.
Marshall ended up with a 25.3 being the new track record for the outdoor.
Yep.
David was only a 10th off. It was probably less than a 10th. I don't know what the third digit was, but it was a 25.4.
That's pretty good. Yeah, everybody goes back and forth with the outdoor track. I drove it for the first time in, since it last fall or something. I was here Thursday or Friday, stopped by, and it feels like a whole new facility. I love it. Being able to swap between indoor and outdoor tracks is something that we have very unique here at this K1 Speed Canton.
So slowest time in the last round qualifiers was a 27.4. Doesn't look like anybody in this particular group is going to touch that, so this order is probably going to fall all in the B main. But again, all the rookies competing for their own championship.
Yeah, and everybody in the slowest being a 27.7, that's still good for your first time out. So that is not bad. That is basic driving and a good line, and you'll be very competitive from there.
I think it's catching a few of the drivers out as they enter the pit lane here as we're on board with Jeremiah. That pit lane speed limiter probably feels a little weird to them. I think that's why the drivers are stopping for some reason. Yeah,
it feels like the kart slows down by itself, so you feel like you have to assist it, like brake with it. It feels like something's wrong, I guess, if you're not used to it.
But I think we've got a Nicole rooting for Dominic, I believe, if he's saying Well, the last name matches at least, so we hope that's who you're rooting for. All right, we'll try that again. And you can kind of see those tire marks there where some of the rear axle locks up as they enter this pit lane right here.
Looks like we're going to have to reset the track lights before we go because I know from experience that that is a connection failure.
Yeah, the double lights.
Yep. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, check out the 12 Hours of Canton. We just ran that a couple month ago. I don't know. It feels like forever or yesterday, depending on what day it is. But yeah,
Welcome to Sunday, Jason.
It is, I know. But yeah, check it out. It's a really, really cool race. We're the only ones in the world that can pull it off, and we hope to continue that building of stuff like that with these series. So everybody's going to get stacked up here. We're going to go through times, get everybody sorted into their A main and B main. Then it'll be a random selection of karts for the A main, B main. 30-minute race each, and we'll catch you guys right back here as soon as we figure that out.
Stay with us, guys. We'll be right back. I think Jason's going to try to get us some interviews, so
Katie is the recipient of the Golden
let's see who he
Gloves.
finds.
Yeah. All right, so live trackside. I've got Katie and PJ here. So you guys' first and thirds back at the season and the winner of the Golden Gloves. And I'm double checking my audio. Hopefully we're good. Yeah, sounds good. All right, cool. So you guys back in the Endurance. What are you looking forward to this year?
A fun series.
Yeah?
I'm excited.
I love it. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
The outdoor.
The outdoor?
I'm ready for the outdoor track.
Oh, it's all, okay, gotcha. The outdoor, yeah. So the outdoor is going to be a lot of fun. We just talked about that. If it wasn't 40 degrees today, we would have been doing that, but, you know, what are you going to do?
I'm kind of glad we're not, though.
Yeah?
Need more practice.
Have you driven the outdoor yet this year?
Yes, first day we opened.
Did you really?
We were the first racers.
The first racers on the outdoor track?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Yeah, it was. I went out there like probably the second day it was open. Very slippery. Very slippery.
Yes,
so
it was.
It's good that we're starting indoor, I think, just to get everybody kind of used to the endurance and then go from there.
Right.
But awesome. So you guys, how do you feel about qualifying?
I thought I could have done better. Car was a little shaky, but, you know, you'll have that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Katie, I mean, the Bull. You guys are wearing your MK Morris stuff, but I know, you know, the Bull. So if you were to guess, A main, B main, both of you guys?
Well,
We got
were just
22.
Yeah, we were separated
by
by 1,000th of a second.
Wow. Okay,
so,
cool.
I might be at the tail end of the A. She may be at the beginning of the B.
I'm the head of the snake on B.
Yeah, that's
so
it.
we'll see.
I used to always race for the fastest of the slows, you know what I mean? So it was fun, but I like starting in the back. It gives me a lot of passing stuff. I
Right.
know you guys do too.
Yes.
Their only way is up.
That's it. All right, cool. Well, we'll catch up with someone else. Good seeing you guys, and
Awesome.
good luck on the season this year.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Oh, I just found out. This is the benefit of this. You both made it to the A main.
There we go.
Nice.
Atta girl.
All right, well, good luck to you guys. We'll see you soon, okay?
Yep.
Thanks, Jason.
Hey, thanks, Jason. I was just able to look at the results while they were doing that interview, and yeah, they made it to the A main. So, as well as Rachel pole sitter, followed by Marshall, then Jacob Ryan, and then Dominic, Mark, Tristan, and we'll get the rest of them up on the board here in just a couple minutes. So. He's going to grab Giovanni out in the track, so let's go ahead and go down to him. Go ahead, Jason.
All right, Giovanni. So congratulations, first of all, world champion. How does it feel to be a world champion and then come back to K1 Speed Canton and start racing again?
Like, surprising. It's been a little bit since I've drove the go-karts and this track. It just feels real.
Feels weird?
Yeah.
You excited about it? Like, what did you think about the world championship? Did you like it?
Yes, I like it.
How many people were racing against you?
There was 40 people, and then there was different heats. D main, C main, B main, A main. I made it to the A main. I qualified second for the national championship. I got bumped down. I got first, and then first T-boned me into the turn, so I did not. So I fell back sixth position, so I was in sixth, and I worked my way all the way up, and then the last 3 laps I gained 3 positions, and then I thankfully made it to third, which qualified me for the A main, for the World
Worlds,
Championship.
yeah.
Yeah, and I qualified first, and my kart was slow, and I was just defending the whole entire way.
Mike is there. Keep going. You're good.
I was just defending the whole entire time for 8 laps, and I got a good reaction.
Off the start?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I got spun 2 times, but they gave me the
Oh, that's cool. So was it a fight till the finish, or did you gap the field? Did you stay in first the whole time?
I stayed on first the whole time.
That's awesome. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you in the series. I mean, you're 11,
Yeah, I'm a
and you're racing with all these adults, and I bet you made it to the A main. So
I did.
You did? Awesome. Congratulations. Well, we'll catch up with you soon, buddy. I cannot wait to see what you do with racing here and everywhere else. We're going to keep an eye on you. And congratulations, world champion. So cool to be interviewing a world champion from K1 Speed Canton here. And I guess we'll catch up with someone else if we have time. If not, we're going to start in the mains. See you soon.
All right. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I guess he doesn't seem to be rattled at all, which if I was going to a world championship, I think that I would be doing that. But thanks, Jason, for covering that for us. You are joining us live for the first round of our brand new endurance series. This is actually the 4th time we've done this championship. We've done a couple years or 6 months. Well, actually, it was a couple years where it ran a whole year long, and it was focused upon battery life and trying to make the car last as long as possible. Then we switched it up last year to the pit stops because the batteries just weren't giving us what we needed to do. And here we are with our 4th series with our brand new batteries, and we are ready to get our first B main rolling here shortly. You'll see up on the wall there's a clock that says 25 seconds that's split into 2 spots. You got clock 1 and clock 2. Those are the timers we're going to run for the drivers. That is for the pit stops. It's a time pit stop. That way you can, not everybody, or people are not put at a disadvantage if they can't hop in and out of a cart as fast as some other people. So it's unlike the 12 hours where you can go as fast as you can, try to get your teammate into a new car and try to get them going again. You are limited 25 seconds. So the pit workers are going to be starting the 25-second clock when the car stops. So take a look at the right-hand row there where cars 20, 36, and 21 are. Let's just say they're going to park there. As soon as the car comes to a stop, the timer will start. Then they will jump to the car on the opposite side of the alley. So 27 would be the first car on the line there. That way every car, every driver has the same advantage or disadvantage for distance, and it just keeps the pit stops moving. No rules as far as the pit stops go. It used to be if you stopped within the first 10 laps or within the last 10 laps, you weren't guaranteed a kart swap because the battery couldn't last that long. We're nixing that rule. We should be good to go on the battery
Number
life
9.
for everything. And
The other Mitch.
they are now welcome to do the pit stop whenever they want. So no restrictions there this time. We got Jason back in the booth.
Yeah. Interviewing a 11-year-old world champion is something. He said, I know the audio was kind of weird. 40 people he was up against, and he worked his way through the mains and then got spun twice in the final, but stayed in first place. And I cannot wait to see what he does because just such a nice kid. I mean, he's so, like, he's a world champion. He's just so calm about the whole
I know.
thing.
I commented that he just wasn't rattled at all.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, my
But
goodness.
that's what makes good race car drivers.
It's very true.
I mean, Alex Palou, who led the IndyCar championship last year, is one of the calmest, unemotional guys you've probably ever seen. So for those of you that are curious and are going to watch for the B main, Lee Ferguson is your pole sitter for that B main, followed by Dane, and then Mitch Ferguson, Dave Flory, and then Clay Cutter. Then the rest of the field lines up like this. You got Jeremiah Hilton, Joshua Jackson, Colin Gullett, Mitch Ferguson, Dominic Lynch, and Cy Linderman.
Blue flags, drive-throughs, all that stuff.
So B main first, right?
The blue flag,
Correct.
Awesome.
I'll wave it and I'll point it.
Latent thesis, nerves of steel. Yeah, that is an understatement for him. It's
Let the leaders by within that lap.
such a nice kid.
This will be a track marshal, Owen, who is explaining the black flag rules and the blue flag for the let pass.
If you wreck somebody,
If we happen to come upon lap traffic in this scenario.
we'll be waving this.
Let's see what the time difference is. So let's see. Lee Ferguson, who's going to sit on the pole position for this main, he qualified with a 26.5. And Cy back there qualified
When I'm waving the flag,
with a 20,
after I wave the flag,
26.5? No, how's that right?
then you will be issued a drive-through. Obviously, the same procedure.
Did I click on the same one? All right, Lee, let's check out his time for his qualifier.
We'll stop the race. You'll be done. You don't want to listen to the rules. You don't race.
26.4.
All right, you guys.
I don't know.
That's pretty good.
Well,
26.4
I
is.
must not have something correct 'cause it's showing that the same qualifying times for the first and last positions.
Oh.
I'm just trying to see what the time gap is between our two racers. Dominic. Lynch. All right. 27.7. So there's about a 2-second gap between first and last in this race.
That's right.
I know what it
And
was.
we hit by.
So Cy didn't make the qualifier. So Cy was a little bit late today, and he's going to start at the back of the field. So that'll be interesting because he missed the qualifier. So
They're all over.
everybody's going to start in row 3 tonight, which means row 2 will be their car alternates. Jason's down there getting cameras for our onboards. Let's see. Just checking up on the chat, guys. We always appreciate you guys hanging out with us on a Sunday evening. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do us a favor and hit the subscribe, or even right now, hitting the like button would be great too. We appreciate that.
And you can slap that on whatever one.
Okay.
Oh, you. My bad.
Let's go with 18. You're going to be on the internet, bud.
Right?
Usually just throw them all the way forward as much as I can.
So I pulled up some of the battery telemetry that you guys got to see when we were running the 12 hours. This is car number 8. I just picked it by random. So the thing that we are the most impressed about with these batteries, and this is what we're going to be testing tonight. We're going to be looking at this. Okay, so what happens? Real race scenario. We got full fleet of cars. They're all brand new. That right-hand side there, that temperature, that 22 degrees, that's what I'm most interested tonight. In a lot of the testing that we've done, which are single cars, we have not been able to get the temperature above 40 degrees Celsius. Now, if you followed the 12 hours, you know that we were very frequently running in the 65 degrees because the battery just didn't have that much cooling to it. I'm very interested tonight to see what that is going to heat up to.
Yeah, the new batteries with the huge heat sinks.
Yeah, I pulled a
Should
battery up here for the GP race 2 weeks ago so you could see it, which people probably thought that was really weird, but hey, at least you get an idea what's going on. But the heatsink is so critical to this because we were just missing cooling power. It degrades the cell quality. It slows our charging time down. It does all kinds of things to us. So
I threw a backward shot on the pole sitter, so
cool.
should be good.
It'll be Lee in the number 33 machine.
Yeah. Got a lot of defending to do. It's a long race.
Who's the one?
Leighton is adding on there that they got real hot real quick. 75 degrees was our cutoff temperature, and that was danger zone. That's where the battery just wouldn't even operate anymore. But
He has
A smooth 20. What's the? So I know you've done a lot of testing on the batteries and that. What is the hottest you've gotten one so far on the new generation?
I was just saying it was right around 40 degrees. I really haven't gotten it above 40.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
he has 2.
22 degrees Celsius equals 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Thank you, Ralph.
Oh, nice. Well, it's room temperature then. That's fantastic.
That is what we aim for with batteries. Batteries don't like to be way too hot or way too cold.
Yeah, especially lithium can't be cold, which is kind of different than a lot of other battery technologies where you can put them in an RV and you can winter camp in them and don't have to worry about them too much. But these batteries they don't have internal heaters, but a lot of lithiums will have heaters just to keep them above that threshold so they can operate in the wintertime. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it uses a little bit of its own juice to get the heat pad warmed up, but it doesn't take a whole lot because it's kind of insulated in a lot of cases. Those batteries just need a little bit of current, and because they have such a long lifespan, they have so many amp hours to them, they can heat themselves for a long time.
They can afford to kind of have that little bit of a draw on them.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
really cool. So we got 5 rookies in this B main, which is really cool because everybody's times are, which I know James probably already went over. Their times are very close for their qualifying. So they're going to be running very similar to each other. So it's going to be a really good race. I can't wait to see what happens because usually one of the mains, the A main or the B main, is really exciting with a lot of good races. And hopefully tonight it's both of them because that is why we started these endurance races. Not only because we could, but we wanted the best ones we could, the best racing we could.
And it'll also be interesting to see how these guys handle their pit stop strategies.
Yeah, so I was down there for a second with handling a couple GoPros, and I heard someone mention, can we pit any time? And sure, you can pit any time, but you got to time that out a little bit. And especially with the new batteries, we don't have to do the pre-10-minute and post-10-minute, kart swap or whatever, because they'll last the whole time. But you still want to be strategic about who's in the pits and how you're going to do that.
Yeah, we're going to try to pan a little bit to the left, but I know Owen is standing there, so he's got the. So we got onboards with Dave, who's the number 4, sitting behind the pole sitter. You've got an onboard with Cy, who's in the back. The reason that the time was different is because Cy didn't qualify.
Oh, okay.
So there is a chance for the biggest mover in the field. We'll see what he can do. And then, like we said, Lee. We had onboard with Jeremiah in the number 18.
That'll be some good
and
shots.
Clay as well.
A little bit of action throughout the field we can watch on board, which is really cool.
And we'll try to learn the drivers as best we can.
Yeah, first time we're seeing a lot of you guys, but hopefully we see by 1 or 2 races, we get to know everybody a lot better. We can talk to personalities and backgrounds in racing and all that kind of fun stuff, so we can really give the stream a lot more information on who these drivers are, where they come from, what they do. I know it's been a while since we've done a sidetracked episode, but I'd love to grab a couple rookies and interview them and see what brought them here to try the endurance race.
We got somebody rooting for Clay and Dom. So we'll try to keep track of them. Clay's the number 5, and
Dom is not in this one. Or Dom's in 27.
Oh, down there, number 10. Yeah, okay.
And we have an onboard with Clay, so that should be okay. So waiting for the green flag here, or green lights, I should say. Final checks. Looks like they're down in the pits, double checking everybody is making sure their feet are off the pedals and everybody's ready to go.
We gave him that warning as well. So, yeah, 27. Yeah, thanks, Nicole.
And Sidetracked will be coming back soon. We just took a slight break from all the karting and stuff late, and so we'll have that back soon. Who's throwing the flag tonight? Is that Adam?
Yeah. So we're ready to go with a brand new series of the Endurance Karting Championship. We got a big field tonight. We're very excited. Let's see what this B main can do as we are going to wait for the green flag, Lee Ferguson, sitting on your pole position. And green lights, and we are off.
Let's see how turn 1 is for everybody.
Somebody got
Ooh, nice dive move. That was good.
Yeah, that was the number 18 right there of Jeremiah. Got a good jump on the guy in front at the start finish. Is he going to be able to hold on to it? Aggressive braking maneuver as the spots 1, 2, 3, and 4 are going to hold. Rounding the carousel for the very first time. We'll see if anybody changed positions back there in the field. Looks like somebody just got punched sideways. You'll have to not point to the screen. I don't know. Number 4?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, I was in the middle of that. I was watching off screen there for a second, and there was 3 or 4 wide going into that back turn there. So
Lee Ferguson started on pole, and he's already purple. If you see purple, that means it's the fastest lap of the race. And I have the wrong overlay for the number of laps, so we're going to see if we can change that for you guys.
On board here with Jeremiah, following closely to Joshua's. He spins a little bit in turn 1.
Everybody's got cold tires, so that's a trick to maneuvering the first couple turns. Until you get the temperatures up, I would say it takes a good 3 to 4 laps in order to get heat in the tires.
Definitely. And you want to pace yourself. It's a long race. It's a 30-minute race. So, get your tires warm, get everything warmed up for yourself, and then really start making moves. Some people will go all out in the first couple laps like I used to.
See Jeremiah sliding sideways into turn 1. Drifting sideways looks cool, but not necessarily the fastest way. If you got Cy, who's looking down the number 31, Mitch Ferguson. I keep wanting to call these people juniors because it looks like they have rookies, but he actually is a junior as he gets punted a little bit in the 4th corner there.
Lee turning in a 26.75, fastest lap of the race on that lap. Looks like everybody's kind of gapped out pretty good.
Lee, Dane, and Mitch holding their positions. But we got a lot of heat back here from Cy Linderman, who is aggressively trying to go after the number 27 and the number 31, which will be Dominic and Mitch. They're going to go side by side. Who's going to give way here? They're going to give each other a good amount of space. That's good. Cy's going to take advantage of that. But he's going to have the inside corner going into the carousel. That'll help him on the front straightaway. As you now have a large gap between the entire field. Lee coming up and bumping into turn 1.
And he's got quite a gap there to second place back to Dane. So that is a good gap you want to keep in endurance for sure.
Exactly.
You can just run a nice, smooth, steady line with that, and it really helps extend the life of your battery.
And then the challenge is going to be, can you keep the mental focus for that the entire time? So,
as we get a little pile up into turn 2 there, these 4 seem to be just all out for the positions they can. They're going for what is this? This is 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th place here.
Getting squeezed back there in turn 5. Don't have a lot of room to work on an indoor go-karting track. You are bound by physical barriers, but number 25 is still going to maintain that. That's Cy, who's moved up now. He started in the number 11 spot, number of 7 right now.
Yeah, and he's working his way through the field as best he can, but that group of 4 drivers is pretty aggressive.
Cy is now going to have some clean track in front of him, so we're going to see what kind of lap times he can set since we didn't see a qualifier from him.
Yeah, he's got the mess of karts behind him, so he should be able to, with clean track, you should be able to run a few good laps here. Just try to break away from him a little bit and don't slow your pace up.
That's the gap from 2 to 1 as you're riding on board on the number 4 machine. Let's see what he does as we take a lap around the Canton indoor track. That's turn 1 right there. He's going to turn left into turn 2. This is a big lift off the throttle, usually a lift into turn 3 as well. He's going to wash out quite wide there, but then you push into the kink of 4 underneath the scoreboard. Then the longer straightaway into the back by the garages. That's turn number 5. And then you have this sweeper from 6 right into 7, otherwise known as the carousel. You want to try to hold this as tight as you can, but really that philosophy holds for every corner of this track. You're trying to balance speed with trying to shorten your track distance.
And something surprising. So in 11th place, Dave Flory right now,
he just went purple.
He put the fastest lap down a lap ago at 26.5. So, and that just changed to Cy. So now we know what Cy's qualifying time would have looked like. He's running a 26.475 now.
Exactly. We don't have anybody in the pits yet. I thought maybe somebody would have ducked off early just
Bit
for
early.
strategy purposes, but
Yep.
I think with the adrenaline pumping, you just kind of want to stay out there and fight for a little while. That's what I would do, I think.
Yeah, especially if you're in a race with a bunch of people and you're fighting for that position. You want to stay in it as long as you can as a driver, but you got to remember you have to pit at some time.
Number 12 of Mitch Ferguson holding on to his third space. Oh, but Clay is going to push him wide in turn 5.
Sneaks right through the inside. That was a good move.
Yeah, he left the corner open a little bit too wide, and that allowed Clay to get in the inside. That's going to bump him up a spot and give him some more clean track space as we look at the battle overhead between the number 6 of Dave and number 9, Colin. Number 12,
Ooh,
12 went a little
real
wide.
hard. That's a rough spot to be.
Yeah.
Turn 4 will always come out and grab you like that if you're on the inside. Following kart 19 here of Clay Cutter in 3rd place. He's got 2 karts behind him, starting to gang up a little bit. So if they work together, they'll be able to catch that gap a little bit, and we should be able to. Oh, there he goes. He is catching up to Dane slowly. So if you look at the track time too, the last lap time, the 26.2 and the 26.6, Dane's putting down some pretty fast laps, but watch those lap times come down, and that'll tell you how the gap is doing between those 2 drivers. So right now they're pretty evened up. The drivers that I think are going to be exciting are the ones that we're following here in this pack.
Yep.
The lower third of the race, they are all fighting all out for positions, as we see Owen throw the blue flag there, because we've got Lee coming up on him.
Yeah, we got Dave down there with 9 laps on the board, just past 10, so he's going to be getting the blue flag for that.
And I wonder with Dave Flory with a 79-second lap time, is that a pit?
That most likely was a pit, yep. The first pit stopper.
And we got another one coming in.
And who will that be? That'll be... Let's pan down there for the pit stop down there for us, camera.
Yeah, we can show you how it works. So he
Right
pulls
there.
into the lane 31.
Well, no, he is the first pit stop. So 31.
Yeah,
All right.
Mitch Ferguson.
Let's jump out of the car and let's go.
So he's got 25 seconds, so he's burning it up right here, but he's got to get to the other cart. He's got to switch over to cart 20, and he's got plenty of time. 25 seconds is a lot.
Yeah, if we could pan up to that board up there, keep him in the shot down there, 20, and then we can see the clock, and we can see how much time he's got left. Pan to the left a little bit more. A little bit more to the left there.
Yep,
there
2 seconds,
2 seconds.
3.
All right.
Negative. Oh, he's -2. He
So-
can go whenever he wants.
Yep. He is now allowed to re-enter the pits. As we follow on board with the track action, we've got Clay. Oh, there's the 27 who's going to dip off into the pits.
That's Dominic Lynch heading into the pits. Yeah, your first pit stop, I can imagine it takes a little bit to get used to if you've never done a pit stop here. We'll follow...
Yep, that's Dominic down there, the number 27. Let's see how his pit stop goes as he brings his number 27 to a stop. He can now jump over to the number 36. Top clock counts down from 25 seconds.
It's like 16, 14 seconds left. Plenty of time to buckle up and get ready to go. And 2 people can pit at once. That's why there are 2 timers up there. As soon as you see it hit 0, he can take off and go, which is now.
There he goes. And then right when he hits that line right there is where it'll electronically reaccelerate.
Yep. Looks like
got it.
everybody's coming in for pits now.
This is where it becomes difficult to keep track of who's in what position, but we do have Lee Ferguson still in the lead, registering 20 laps on the board.
Usually the people that pit last are going to jump up the board, and it'll be, there'll be a significant gain from, the last people that pit to the first people that pit. But those first people that pit, they have a slight advantage sometimes if they're able to work their way through the field in their second drive. They can really work their way up the leaderboard. So let's see, on board with Jeremiah here, heading into the back. He's got a couple carts in front of him.
He's running in the 7th spot, and if we were critiquing the line a little bit, he's run a little wide, and he's kind of diving towards the middle of the apex. That's kind of upsetting the cart a little bit. If you see it kind of jumping over back and forth, side to side a little bit, that just means carrying a little bit too much speed and scrubbing the tires. but he is keeping up with this group ahead of him, so he's got the number 15 machine right in front of him. I'm sorry, that's the 25 of Cy Linderman, who started in our 11th spot. So watch that orange helmet.
And Cy already has pitted, so he just work his way up that field as he can.
You've now got Clay on the back of Mitch. They've been battling back and forth here.
Yeah,
So
going to the inside, giving each other bumps. Looking to the inside here, not enough room. Let's see what he does in turn 1.
Mitch doing a great job of moving up. He started 9th in the field.
Wow, that's good. A little outside-inside dip here. Yep. Not a good place to be for turn 4. Like I said, sometimes you get shunted out there.
Yep. But they handle it professionally. Looks good. Little bit of break in 5. That's okay. Looking to the inside. You got to give him some room there, though, if you're going to dive to the inside corner like that.
This is a great pass if you can make this inside here stick. But
Good move here for Clay. Don't dive bomb turn 1. That would be a mistake. You'd be pushing that guy sideways. You'd cost both of you a lot of time.
I think Clay right now is just thinking, how can he get by? And he's just watching this line, seeing where he can take outside, inside, and they've been going back and forth. And he leaves it open. Clay on the inside, not enough momentum to get through, though.
Good racing space. He's going to swing out wide and then try to take him back in the carousel. Mitch is going to swing way out there on the outside.
Running a pretty good defensive line, though.
Yeah, they're racing each other well. This is what we like to see, just kind of learning from each other, I think. Because if you see a guy who will take a line and kind of snap through the corner and run away from you, you know that he was faster than what you were able to do, and that gives you an opportunity to improve your line.
Absolutely. I think these two are learning from each other right now. Clay gets bumped, or Mitch gets bumped a little bit by Clay where he's a little bit slower, and they're just trying different lines right now. As Cy puts up a 26-1, so fastest lap of the race so far.
I think we'll probably see somebody jump into the 25 before the end of this race. What do you think?
I think you are right.
He's going to look the inside. Oh, he's going to push him into the pits.
So I don't know if that was a push or if he was intending on it.
Well, I did warn him when they did the driver's briefing. I said, if you get pushed in here, that's the time to just do your pit because you basically have to serve a drive-through penalty. If not,
it's also a great thing when you're battling with people like that.
He's going to grab the wrong row here.
Got to jump into the right row for your pit, but it's a great thing if you're battling out someone you're frustrated. Take a pit stop and live to fight another day.
But it's not a bad time to get that pit stop done. You have 17 minutes left in the race, so you're not quite halfway there. Yeah, it wasn't the move that he wanted to do, but he's okay. He's in good position. You just breathe, get back in the car, refocus, and relaunch.
Hey, K1 Speed, Addison, Illinois. How's it going, guys?
Great to see you guys. You're looking back from Lee Ferguson, who has been your pole sitter, who hasn't pitted yet. Still got Clay and Cy, who just keeps moving up through the field there. Cy just all the way from the back so far.
Yeah, and Cy actually in the pits now.
Oh, okay, so that's why he jumped down. Okay.
Yep.
So let's see if he can keep his foot to the throttle and make a good, clean stop. Come on, let's keep it in the throttle on the left-hand side. Let off the brake. Yep. All the way up. He seems to be limping it a little bit. He's going to lose some time here because he's not staying in the throttle. Okay, now time will start. 25 seconds.
I like that 25 seconds. It gives you enough time, even for beginners first time in this race. It gives you plenty of time to get into the cart, get situated, and take off safely from there.
It looks like we're about 7 drivers in to the pit stops, as we're almost to the halfway point of this 30-minute race.
I've noticed something, too. After these pits, there's a group coming into turn 1 right here. 22 looks in the inside of 36. Not going to make it happen, but everybody's clustered up a little bit more than they were.
Trying to sort out which one of these guys did the pit stops. Let's go ahead and follow this battle as they go back there into turn 5.
A little bit wide. Looks on the inside. Nope. Gets shut out by that wall.
They all have
if you can make that inside stick a little bit better in that carousel, that is a great passing spot. Ooh,
22 dives the inside. He's going to make a move and make it stick.
Yeah, 36 just went way wide on that.
Yep. But 36 is basically not on the lead lap at this moment because he's already done his pit stop. That's Dane Pravalek in the rookie class, driving the number 22. Trying to check around the track to see if we've got any other battles going on. This one's the best one so far. Let's follow that number 22. He had a really good racing line. This would be a good example for... This is... Yes, we have it on board with him. So let's watch as he goes through the racing line, trying to compare it to some of the other drivers that you've seen, how they kind of push through 4 here. Let's see if there's any braking on the left foot there. A little bit of tap on the brake just to get the car slowed enough where you don't lose traction.
He's got a pretty good line. A little wide there, but everything...
And I think a lot of drivers don't understand how much time that carousel will cost you. I have seen people tighten up that carousel and knock off a half a tenth.
Yep.
Or half a second, sorry.
Yeah, staying to the inside of the exit of that carousel is imperative.
It does 2 things for you. It keeps the track space to a minimum, and it also gives you a nice straight line speed going into 1. So it's very important. In fact, this corner right here that they swing left, that's a little bit of sacrifice so that you can stay straight.
And right here, he did it. He stuck to that inside, and he was faster. It's his line through the first part of this track here is really nice. Clay does a good job through here. And when he tightened it up on that carousel, he was able to make it by. Good pass.
As we'll check back up on Cy Linderman to see where he is. Now, he did do his pit stop, so he's shown back there in 9th, but he had moved up on the leaderboard. I think he was floating about 8th position before the pit stops.
And he said we had 7, 8 people pit so far, I think. So almost all the way through the field.
Yeah, I was just counting the cars that were in the pits. Good line here for Cy as he rounds the corner and completes lap number 33 on the board.
So with 12 minutes to go, nobody's in the 25s yet. We've got a couple really close ones, I think. I'm sorry, it's the last lap now, so it's looking good for everybody. Couple tight races with everyone, and we'll see how this winds up for the next 12 minutes. There's the 35 of Cy crossing the start-finish line here.
I'm really anxious to make sure that Lee Ferguson's pit stop goes well so that he can maintain this gap that he's put out in the field.
Yeah, him and Clay have been doing really good together. Both of them, 39 laps in, so they're all in the leader lap. And Lee just passed the timing line. Here he is here. So he's working his way through back markers, which is a challenge in and of itself because you got to get around them politely, and it just slows your pace up a little bit. Gives an opportunity for Clay if he can catch up to him. This is the best part of endurance, is when you catch back up to the field, it really is a test of driving because you have to hold that position, but you're battling with back markers.
And so far as what we've seen on camera has been some good gentlemanly driving.
Absolutely. This has been a great race. Everybody has been, here we go in turn 5, turn 4, I mean.
Yep.
Yeah,
we'll see what they do back there in 5. They're pretty much going to sort it out.
Yeah. I think that's Clay. Or, I'm sorry, Lee.
Yeah, it should be with the white helmet. Yep.
Yeah.
He's the one we've been following.
Yeah, so it looked like a little battle going on there, but he was just getting by a back marker, so just worked his way through the inside there.
We had that nice tight shot of him going through the corners. I wonder how his arms are feeling at this point in the race. 20 minutes in these cars.
Should have put his GoPro forward on that one.
Yeah. But we still have his reverse track here so you can see
and Clay,
who's following.
Clay is coming into the pits now.
Yep, we'll switch back there. All right, that'll start his 25-second timer. I don't think we've had 2 people in the pits at the same time.
We have not, no.
It's kind of nice. We haven't had to worry about that. Now, he jumped out quite quick on the cars, so let's see how much that gains him in respect to the field. He can turn the car back on, wait for the timer to expire, and launch. He's still at pit lane speed at this point.
I did notice with him when he got in the cart, his feet stayed off the pedals until he
Yes.
saw 0. So that's
Very good.
really good idea.
If you turn it on and you're touching the throttle, the car will not go anywhere.
Yep. So catching up with the 36 of Dominic here, going through the front section of the track. Clear open space for him. I don't think there's too many battles going on overhead on track, but
Yeah, so that should leave us with 2 drivers who have not pit yet. That would be Lee and Jeremiah, but we just saw we're going to wait for Colin to come across the timing line to see where he ends up, where he sorts through that.
and it's not a bad idea with Lee and Jeremiah how they stayed out and they're a lap ahead of everyone. So when they do pit, they're not going to lose that much time. They're not going to fly down the leaderboard. So that's, if you have, if you're in a good swing of a cart and you stay out for a while, it's a good idea to do that just so you can get through the field. It's very difficult to, calculate when to pit unless you're in that position. You're able to pit kind of whenever you want. But so far, everybody looking very competitive and really good times so far. I mean, I've seen 26s, mid-26s throughout the board. Even Dave Flory in 11th place running a 26.4, which is a really good time on his last lap.
Yeah, considering that some of these guys qualified with 27s, so...
Correct, yep. That was my bet. You're out here for a while. Looks like Sai's working his way through.
Oh, he's going to give him lots of space going into 1.
Are they
Yeah,
on the
that's
same
good.
lap together?
Who's he battling with? The number 24? Yeah, that's Clay.
Nope, Clay
Nope,
is
yeah,
ahead.
different
Yep.
laps, yep. I was just checking up on the chat, and Jay Douglas was saying Sai is killing it. Yeah, exactly. That's why we switched back to his onboard.
Yeah, so Eric in the chat, definitely sign up for the Endurance as soon as you can. It is first come, first serve, and as the series grow, we will make sure that everybody that wants to do it can do it and compete in the series. So sign up at k1speedcanton.com.
Now, are we waiting? We are waiting for number 33, your leader with 49 laps on the board, to make his pit stop. Hopefully he hasn't forgotten, but he may just really like the car and he just wants to settle in and make as many laps as he can without having to make that pit stop. But definitely need to keep an eye on him. And I believe the number 18 machine,
Jeremiah Hilton.
Jeremiah started... Oh, I didn't get his car number. No, I believe Jeremiah has completed his pit stop. Jeremiah started in the 5th position, but I don't have his car number to see if it's swapped out yet. But I'm going to guess, based upon the 2 lap differences, that's going to be somebody who hasn't pitted yet.
Yeah, so Lee is probably one of the last people that has to pit, as we see.
That's
Number
Colin
9, Colin,
switching
yeah.
over to the number 2 machine. Yeah, so that would definitely answer the question with Jeremiah. So now we're waiting for Lee and Jeremiah to make their pit stops sometime in the next less than 7 minutes.
Yep. And that'll reflect, like I said, on the leaderboard. They're a few laps ahead, but wait for this pit stop. It does take a couple laps off your time.
As you ride on board on the number 18 machine. Setting lap time of a 27.3 last time around. I can feel the car kind of locking up there into turn 1 as he jammed on the brakes. That's a very difficult maneuver. As you get into the other round and see how some of these other guys handle turn 1, it's amazing how they can finesse the brake with just enough slowing power to keep the car underneath them, but all the momentum to go through 1. It's very tricky.
It's awesome. A lot of the drivers in the A-Main have put in a lot of practice.
Let's see how he does it this time. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I think some of the vibrations just coming naturally from the cart, but I didn't hear tires squealing on that particular turn. So
True. Are we able to see best times at the same time, or is it just the last lap? I'm curious to see where...
Yes.
Oh, oops. Good catch.
There we go.
Nobody saw it, but James dropped his phone and caught it like Spider-Man. That was great.
Let's see. We got our leader, 26, this last. So best, 26.2 for him. I'm looking down the list. 26.1 for Dane. He's got the fastest lap of the race so far. 107, actually by Cy Linderman by 2 thousandths.
Wow.
That's the fastest lap of this race. So
Cool.
26.107, 26.109.
Everybody's times have dropped from qualifying, so everybody's getting in the groove of it.
Okay, so the number 33, Lee, still out there.
He is running at 5 minutes to go, and he's still running.
Hopefully he heard the term mandatory pit stop.
As you see him look at the he was looking to see how much time was left, hopefully calculating maybe come in for a pit stop around now.
Or that, either that or it's a sign of agony.
That, maybe he was looking at how many laps he was in.
Could be.
Just to kind of see. But
let's follow him in the number 33. We really need to find out when he's going to pit. Will he dive in? No.
No.
He's going to put 57 laps on the board. He's still checking the timing line, though. Checking the board back there.
And he can't really work his way up from here. There's too much of a gap. For 4 minutes to go, he can catch those 3 cars ahead of him maybe, but that's not really going to help his case with the pit stop. Jeremiah Hilton running 1 lap behind him, so with a pit stop, that would potentially, that's a good battle here in turn 1.
Look at the view for Colin here.
Colin's in a great spot because those 3 karts get into it with each other, and you can find a hole in it and you can take all 3 spots at once.
Now Colin's not in the number 9 anymore. He is switched over to the number 2, but he is in 9th position down there.
Running a little bit slower, a little bit loose through the carousel there, so he's dropping off the pack in front of him.
Colin started in the 8th spot. He has dropped down 1. So he kind of almost looked to the outside of turn 1 there. And let's switch back to 1 so we can see this battle going on inside from Clay's car. Still waiting to see if Lee is going to pit before the end of the race.
I know. I still haven't seen him dive in anywhere. But yeah, Clay is looking at the 22, so he needs to pass these guys. They're all in the same lap, so if he can get by him, he's looking at 3rd place. So this is the battle for 3rd here. Good tight line through that turn, coming into 5. Looks good.
This might give me an opportunity to check on a battery. Hang on 1 second. I want to find out what number 24 is doing here.
Yeah, they're all spaced out pretty good. He gains a lot of time through turns 1 and 2 on that 22 machine and loses a little bit back here. His best hope is that if those 2 karts in front of him start battling with each other, slow their pace up a little bit, he'll be able to sneak in there.
Oh, did I just hear somebody pit? Did I hear somebody dive in?
Yep.
There he is. All right,
backwards.
Lee Ferguson. Sorry, I killed the scoreboard there.
That's okay.
With 2 minutes to go, he's going to make his pit stop. And then we will follow along up overhead. I think body language speaks a lot of words here.
Yeah. Chill.
And we're going to be looking for number 18. Where does he come out in the field? Pops the car on. He's going to have the number 17 underneath him this time.
And looking for where Jeremiah comes out on their laps.
Jeremiah's coming down the front straightaway. He just rounded the corner.
So that puts Lee right behind him. Right behind the 18. That next kart there behind 18 is Lee Ferguson, who was running first place for a while. So he's got to catch up to Jeremiah in the kart 18. You can see the gap there overhead. And he cannot let these guys by. So hopefully he's able to catch up and get that first place back. Jeremiah looks like he is running a really good line, though, so he's running really good times. His last lap was a 27 flat.
Yeah, and his best time of the race is a 26.3, so he's been consistent.
This group here is the group we're going to want to watch.
But with that alternate pit strategy with Lee waiting for so long, it was kind of misleading for a little while. But yeah, Jeremiah has pulled out that gap.
And you can...
And again, he started from the 6th spot. So moving up quite a bit as we're now going to be getting close to the white flag. White flag will wave at the expiration of time.
It's 17 seconds.
We will follow this battle through the end of the race here.
So is it white flag? Oh, look at him catch up.
Yeah.
Oh,
But the laps are different. So Jeremiah has lap 65 versus 64 for Lee. So
oh.
he was able to pull out significant gap. Now they are battling for track position. It's going to be interesting to see, but according to the scoreboard, this is not going to be a battle for position. They both just racked up 66 and 65 laps respectively.
Yep.
That's
Last
usually
lap.
what we see for this endurance race, so that means the pace is right there as the white flag is waving.
He's going to still try and get it, though.
Yeah,
He wants it.
still
Oh,
wants
look at
to
him on the
try.
outside.
What's it going to look like back in turn
Oh,
5?
great pass. Now he just needs to hang on to it.
And he's now going to have a train behind him, but Jeremiah trying to round the corner as he's going to take the checkered flag for the B main, the very first race of the Endurance Challenge this year.
And bragging rights to Lee for actually making that last lap pass on
Yes.
Jeremiah. That was great.
Great battle from all the drivers involved. A lot of them getting a lot of track time and brand new experience here, especially with pit stops.
Yeah, you could see. I mean, hopefully everybody comes back and does this, because once you get the hang of the pit stop, do it once or twice, and you get the flow of it. These times are really competitive. So even in the B main, as a rookie, if you're signed up as a rookie, you don't necessarily need to compare yourself to the pro class here. You're running your own series. So Jeremiah is now the leader of the rookie class.
Congratulations to him. Now we'll still have a couple rookies running in the A main as well.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes and who that is.
Including Mark Davis, who qualified in the 5th position. He's our highest ranking rookie tonight.
Awesome. Good for him.
Yeah. The rival at age of 12. And congratulations to that guy right there, Jeremiah. Finishing strong, 67 laps on the board. I have to think that part of the strategy was, it's not only the pace on track, but a lot to do with the pit stop times, because a lot of space can be gained or lost. We're going to take a second to catch our breath and reset for the A main.
So Jeremiah did not pit.
Oh, was that the problem?
That was the problem.
Okay, so we
So-
kept wondering if Lee was going to pit,
Yeah.
but apparently Jeremiah did
Because
not.
remember, we were saying the top two at one point, and I thought Lee did. We'll have to double check this, but rumor has it from trackside that Jeremiah did not pit, which would put Lee in first.
That would make a lot more sense.
Yep. So let's see.
We'll try to see if we can get that shored up for you, and we'll come back here in just a couple minutes. Okay, guys, hang on with us.
All right. Got that stuff sorted out.
Which
Hey,
stuff?
everyone. Just getting stuff ready. So GoPros and all that fun stuff, getting ready for A main. As kart selections you guys were watching, so everybody gets a randomized kart. Make it as fair as we possibly can, especially with the new batteries. I mean, all these karts.
That's what I'm checking on right now. I'm looking at some of the cars that just came off track to find out where we ended up. So, like Kart 18. Yeah, so officially, Jeremiah did not pit.
Okay.
So, yeah, that win will go to Lee because it will technically put him a lap down. But we'll have to find out where exactly that's going to put him. So, let's look at Kart 18 because that was the car he was driving. So, 32 degrees.
Wow.
34. He ran the entire race. He didn't pit. And he has 34% charge left on the battery. So,
These batteries are fantastic.
yeah. About 50 amp hour draw for the whole race. So, considering we would normally pull about 60 amp draws or amps out of the battery for an endurance race, that's very good. So it shows that the load is lower and therefore the amp draw is lower. So the battery's more efficient. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're good to charge back up and throw them back out there. Now he won't be taking 18, but
That's all right. What's the what's the starting order for A main? Do we know yet?
We do.
Okay. Everybody getting strapped in. Hi.
Hey.
New faces. I love it. Everybody excited. That's the other thing. Everybody that drives here is so nice. Like, come out, try this. Marshall Miller with his visor down, his tinted visor down. But everybody out here, we're just having fun with this. This is just such a great time.
And if you haven't met the drivers yet, and you come out and you drive with them, you get some new friends.
Yeah, everybody will help you out here. We want people to go faster, so everybody gives their tricks and tips, and hopefully we get to know more and more drivers with Sidetracked, and then you guys come out and make friends.
Yeah, don't forget to ask if you want some help.
Very much.
Yeah. We had a feedback form a couple weeks ago that said the staff is not interested in helping people. That's the exact opposite of what we are anticipate doing. But we're also not going to come up to you and be like, "Hey, I noticed you're slow. You want to go faster?" Like,
yeah.
It's if you ask us, we're more than happy to try to give you some pointers. So.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, that's how we started basically all the series. Is everybody was just, I don't know. We all became friends trying to learn how to race the track and started talking to one another, and one thing leads to another. We're trying to push the carts to the limits, and thank God the owner here is a racer himself and likes to do that kind of thing. But we all know each other pretty well. And we've always said it's so cool to see new faces, because if you try this once, as far as endurance racing goes, I promise you'll get hooked on it. It's just a lot of fun. Plus, it's a good workout.
Yeah.
Upper body workout for sure.
Yep.
There's people that have had shoulder surgeries, and the thing they look forward to most is getting back into the cart. So it's really cool to see.
Right. You're looking down on the number 9 machine there, Jacob, who is a good example of that.
Yeah.
And he's, I say fairly new, but he's been here several months now. He's been racing a lot of races, but he's the poster child for what we're just talking about. He has just completed here 176 races, which
it's not a whole lot.
Yeah, it's just getting going.
Yeah.
But I noticed yesterday he set a 25.9. I'm pretty sure that was his best lap time so far. I think that was the first time he dropped into the 25s.
That's awesome.
If so, Jacob, congratulations.
Yeah.
Well done.
He's a perfect example of just connecting with people. That's how he got into the 12 Hours of Canton. We were closed out. All the teams were said and done. And there's a stipulation you can pick up a driver leading into the 12 hours if you need. It has to be cleared with race control. But he was really, really trying to get a team together and missed out on it. The signups went really quick this year, which is awesome. It's a growing thing. We hope to field more and more teams every year. But he really, as you can see, is just amping himself up in the cart. He loves to drive. So we connected him with the team that needed another driver, and day of, he got onto a team and ended up driving like a third of their race or something like that for the 12 hours. So
of their 1,500 laps,
1,500
raced
laps.
about 500. Behind him, you got the number 33. I hope he drives with that tinted visor as well. That's Dominic D'Angelo. He is a return veteran to the Endurance Series.
Does really well.
As well as the Endurance Master behind him, PJ Manypenny. And
the Endurance Master, I like that.
Yeah.
And then the Speed Master.
And then the Speed Master himself, none other Marshall Miller, texted me this morning and said, "Hey, you got any spots for the endurance race?" And I said, "Well, I don't think so, because at the time we were booked, but a couple spots opened up, and here he is."
Yeah, it's a really great showing.
That's like fighter pilot goggles right there.
He looks like a fighter pilot now. Yeah, I'm so excited that we have this many people for the endurance, and I hope it continues to grow. So definitely come out and try it. And if you are a other K1 in the chat, reach out to me, 12hoursofcanton@gmail.com, and let me know if you guys want to try and run an endurance series. I would love a couple locations doing what they can. Even though you don't have the lithium-ion batteries necessarily, we can still figure out some sort of format. I would love to have other places, and you guys are more than welcome to come to our special 12-hour events like the 12 Hours of Canton or the Twilight Race, which is still in pre-production. We have a tentative date.
I was wondering what you were going to say about that.
Yeah, so we have a tentative date, and we're going to run it on the outdoor track. It's going to be probably, what, 5-hour race or something like that? I don't know.
Okay,
Four or
so
5-hour race.
We're going to hold him to it. He's
So-
officially put out there to the world that the 6-hour race is going to run.
Once I say it, then it actually becomes official. So
Well,
yeah,
I think that's what I told you this week. I said so many people are talking about it and they're asking me about it. I
Mm-hmm.
think they're just going to speak it into fruition.
that's what happened with the 12 hours. So yeah, so we are currently onboarding sponsors. So if anybody's interested in sponsoring, please reach out to me. But it really helps, and the money doesn't go to me and James. Honestly, it goes right into the race. It goes into the stream. It goes into everything, making it better. The battery investment alone on this was significant. We do it because we want to be the best at what we do, which is endurance racing and competitive racing. We are the only ones in the world that can do it, so we're going to do it the best we possibly can. So looking late August, early September, so tickling it of last week of August, first week of September, sometime in that time frame.
Hopefully with the outdoor.
And we will be running outdoor. If weather is good and if weather is okay, we'll still run outdoor maybe, but
Yeah, we can run in damp conditions.
damp conditions. Yeah, I love that. Damp conditions. Yep.
We've done that before.
It's so fun.
It is.
It's so fun.
A wet drying track is
A lot of fun.
it is a great challenge for sure.
So then something else that's coming, just chilling, straight chilling. I love it.
Do you think he's worried about the race?
No, comfortable. So something else coming down the pike, though, too, if you really like endurance racing, and this will be a lot of fun to watch on the stream, is the Pro Endurance Series. Will be coming shortly. Stay tuned to our social media. Check that out. But it'll be an hour and a half of racing. If you think 30 minutes is a lot, wait till you see some of these drivers do an hour and a half. It can be a team or it can be solo. So we are setting that into the final touches. We're putting it out, I think, later today. We'll have a post about it. But if we can if we can do a fun endurance race, we're going to do it. So,
And we're also throwing out there the possibility of doing the exhibition of speed again.
oh, yes. People loved that last year. It was a showcase of three of our leagues that we run here. So we had Boost League, we had GP, and we had Endurance. And we were able to take parts of all three of those series and put them into one long night of fun racing. And the points were as confusing as we could.
That's as confusing as we can come up with.
The points were great. Actually, Adam, sitting on the cart right there, one of the track workers, won last year. So he is defending champion of the exhibition of speed. But
Yeah, so come beat him.
yeah, please, because he
Knock him off his high horse.
What is Marshall doing sitting there?
They're waiting for one car to charge.
Oh, okay. And that's, I guess, a great thing because everybody gets equal battery, even though I'm sure it could run right now and be okay. But you got to start everybody off on the right foot. How not charged is it? I guess we can look from up here.
Most of them all fully charged. I've got one. I mean, based upon the last race, it could make it. That's not an issue.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at.
Isn't that such a great feeling?
Yeah, I know. Not worrying about them overheating.
The Endurance Series actually started out as a single cart, no cart swap. So you got one cart and you went out for, I think it was like 80 laps or something. So the full extent of the battery, and you really had to conserve your way through it. And then as the last generations of batteries aged, you want people to complete the race. You want it to be just an endurance race. So as long as you can make it reasonably. So putting in a cart swap really helped everybody finish the race, first of all, but it also threw in this very unique thing that we can do here with our track layout, which was the open pit style. So it's a really, really cool adaptation of endurance racing, and I love the pit stop personally because it just gives you that extra strategy. It's not just flat out racing the whole time. You have to think about where you're at on the field.
And you have to remember to do your pit stop.
Yeah.
You're going to go back and watch this and go, we were talking about the guy who hadn't pitted, and here's another guy who hadn't pitted either.
At one point in time, I know we were watching it because we were like, these two have to pit, and then I think we just lost track of it. But I'm sure you guys watching on the stream, you get the same thing. So 05 green D-Max. My vote goes to Rachel. All right, everybody jump in the chat. Who's going to win? Let's see. We've got one vote for Rachel so far. I've seen Let's go Mark. Okay.
I would put your starting board up there, but they haven't started the race yet. So just to give you a refresher, we got Rachel, Marshall, Jacob, Dominic, Mark, and Tristan. Then Brandon, Jonathan, PJ, Katie, Giovanni, Sean.
You know, I don't know if I've ever met Brandon Kovac, but I went to high school with a Brandon Kovac. I wonder if he's the same guy.
Oh, really?
All right, Giovanni. We've got 2 for Rachel, 1 for Giovanni. Giovanni would be great. Mark, Marshall.
Adam, you don't get a vote.
Adam. Oh, I love it.
Nobody voted for Sean yet.
See, PJ and Katie, though, if I was to bet on people that are going to make the most moves in this race, maybe not win it, but PJ is just one of those guys that he just works his way through the field. It's crazy. They love endurance. If you haven't seen their sidetracked episode, go back and watch it. I mean, they were never really into racing, and they were playing softball, and they started doing this, and this is their Sunday evenings. They love it. Got 1 for Dom. We got 1 for the bull, of course, Katie. She loves that name now.
Yeah. Let's see.
So we're on board with who? Rachel?
Rachel and Mark.
Mark, okay.
Yep, because he's got the GoPro and the green shoes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Plus we got
We got the
Katie.
bull. The bull
There
herself.
we go.
And 5, which is behind 26. Who's in 12? Giovanni.
Oh, great, Giovanni. And then we missed one of them. We're going to be with Marshall Miller as well, who's not in his cart. He's currently up in the pits or on his phone. He's one of those guys that when he starts, he will sit in the pits and play with his phone until he actually, until he starts moving. He is playing with his phone, deciding what music he wants to listen to. As he's grabbing a water, it looks like. So staying hydrated. Look at it.
But that adds more weight, Marshall.
It does.
He's going to have to take a bathroom break during his pit stop.
Yeah. That's better. That's a better view for Giovanni on his GoPro. That looks good.
Perfect. Yeah, now we can see his cool helmet.
Yeah. And if we pan down the field, you can see some of these racers, they stay in their carts, and you can see Rachel, hands folded, Giovanni behind her, just playing with the steering wheel, ready to go. And then you start chilling out a little bit as we work our way towards the back. You got the helmet off, you got the feet up, you got standing up stretching, you got the helmet off again with PJ, and then empty cart.
That's because
Marshall.
Yeah.
So
sums up everybody's personality right there.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And it's a really cool field. Like, these guys and girls are fantastic racers, but just as people, I've gotten to know so many good people at this track. It's a lot of fun. We're all driven by our love of racing. So looks like our state of charge is about there.
Yeah, 19's ready to go. 33, he's good to go as well. And I think the other one we were waiting on was Marshall. So 13 machine, he is definitely ready to go.
Oh,
so
yeah, I think we're good.
Do we have an impromptu? Marshall, I don't know if that microphone's working.
I don't know.
Let's check. Oh, it's not.
Oh, it's
not on
connected
two.
to that GoPro, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have anything for
Oh,
him.
bummer. That would have been funny. We should be about ready, though. So everybody getting their helmets on, back in their carts, doing their calisthenics, checking what songs they want to listen to.
Yep. Yeah, I think
Look, I love Giovanni's helmet. If
It
I
is.
was 11 and I had a helmet,
Yeah.
that's what it would
He's
be.
added to it since we've seen it.
Really?
Yeah, we saw him at the Ohio State Championship. And
Yeah, we should be about ready here. And we will be racing our A main for the first endurance race of the season. Yeah, latent thesis racing. I can't listen to music while racing, too distracting. I totally understand, but I have I have so much ADD. I need to have other things going on in my helmet besides just my head. So I love listening to music as I drive. If you don't run a 25 or below, you're not even going to contend with these fast drivers. Is that factual? So being in an endurance race, it really depends. 05 green D-Max. If you don't run a 25 or below consistently, you can get them on strategy sometimes. It's also, the karts are very similar in speed. Very, very, very close on speed. But how you drive them, some of these drivers don't like certain karts. I like a loose kart in the turns where it's a little bit more loose. It's good for me. Some of the drivers, oh my God. Some of the drivers like Marshall can really adapt to any kart, so it's for them they can handle pretty much anything. But running a 25 is going to make you extremely competitive in this group of drivers. If you're not at a 25 yet, in the B main, or grab Marshall, grab Rachel, grab any of these guys and girls and talk to them. They will help you get faster. We want everybody to go faster. That is the goal of these races. So, fact or not, you could get them on strategy, but yeah, you need to be pretty quick to be in this race, which is why we're creating the pro class, the 12 hours pro class endurance race coming up shortly, where we will see all of these fast drivers competing for an hour and a half worth of racing. It's going to be great. Dom is under pressure to win. Yes, he is. These are new ones all of the time.
I was checking with the pit staff because they said it wasn't just the cars that were sitting in the field ready to go out. It was the other row. We need to make them ready too, so in case somebody pits right away.
That's true.
I have to give them credit for thinking about that. I didn't think
that
about
is that is a good point. Now, most of these people will not do that, but that is a good point.
Yeah. But
just in case someone
16 and 22, we'll check those real quick here. 16's good. Yeah, they were waiting on those. So, but the good news is, I mean, they don't need to be 100%. They don't need to have full
to last
bank. Yeah, they got plenty of power left. So,
as everybody jumps out of the pits, gets their tires warmed up as we get ready for our A main, on board with Marshall Miller, who is going to be a force to be reckoned with. But starting behind Sonic, Rachel Hart. Katie Wise, another one you're going to want to watch. She's going to work her way up the field. Mark Davis, good to see him. A rookie in 5th place.
It's good to have his name on the lower thirds tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to Jocelyn for helping out with the names, because that helps a lot.
We've seen Mark at a lot of GPs for the the teen league, and he does a great job there. Same cars, same equipment, racing with the quote-unquote big guys, but starting 5th.
That is really cool.
And check up at his YouTube channel. I'm very jealous about the number of hits he gets on his YouTube videos.
Yeah.
He videos each one of his teen leagues, and it does very well. So good job. He's probably going to post this one and get more views than we got.
That's all right. Tag us in it. And I think we've got an onboard with Giovanni, too, for those rooting for Giovanni. So we'll have to see how he does. Another youngin' in the class. He is staring down the barrel of Katie Wise, who is going to be difficult to pass, but we'll see what he can do. So we've got Rachel, Marshall, Katie, Mark, and Giovanni for onboard. So we'll see how everybody does. Jump in the chat. Let us know who you want us to onboard with, because throughout the race, we will definitely favor people that you guys want to see race and the good racing.
Does weight play a factor in the longevity of the battery?
Good question.
Yeah, good question. Technically, yes. Does it make enough to matter? No.
You'd have to be 100 pounds to 150 pounds different to sort of, but then again, I've seen full 250-pound people run 25s. I can run 25s once in a while, and I'm 235 pounds.
Yep. I always tell people physics is physics, but the car doesn't matter as much. The time is so much dependent upon how you drive the car.
Oh my God, I was going to say that.
That's always the most important.
Yep.
But battery capacity wise, not a huge deal. Yeah, you're looking at very small amount of additional amp draw.
You would never notice it in one of these races.
Yep.
It's so true. I can't drive the lines that 100-pound, like to Rachel or to Giovanni. I can't drive their line. They're they turn the kart really tight, but that doesn't mean I can't get a 25. I just have to drive a little bit different. So it's not enough that you would ever notice it. D-Max. And we are going to go green momentarily.
We're live from K1 Speed Canton, and we're going to get the Endurance Racing Series started over again. Rachel Hart sitting on pole. What can they do in this half-hour race?
And we are going to go green.
And they're green.
Everybody tightens up into that turn one. Immediately a little bit battle from Dominic there, trying to work his way through Jacob. Everybody is pretty tight. I think the first 7 people are going to be where the action is at. Dominic,
a lot of single file action. Oh, we have one person who was going a little wide there back in the carousel.
2 people pitted already. 2 people are in the pits. We need to go to the pits.
Let's
Who
check the
pitted?
pits.
Who pitted?
Who?
That's Katie and PJ. Katie and PJ pitted on the first lap.
Very first lap.
All right.
Well, let's see what happens. Katie and PJ starting kind of in the back of the field.
Let's see.
8th and 9th spot. Nope, 9th and 10th. We had 12 drivers.
And Rachel and Marshall are coming down the start straight. There they go in turn 1, so they are going to be right there.
Oh, as we saw somebody, let's turn over to turn 1 here.
Someone got spun a little bit.
That's Tristan there looking at turn 1. He has his hands up like.
Yeah, but you got to keep going, buddy. Keep going. The race is going to continue. So Marshall Miller with a 26-1, Rachel at a 26-3. Marshall right on the tail of Rachel as they come down here. You can see Katie and PJ already going into turn 2. So they're going to be about a lap down. But we'll see how this plays out long term because they did pit in front of the leaders. So it might have been a good decision.
I think we just heard somebody else enter the pits too. Let's check and see. We have a red flag display. That means 2 people in the pits. Yep, that is going to be Tristan, the number 15, and we had somebody in the number 27. So that was Sean Horrigan also pitting within the first couple minutes of the race. So we're going to have 4 drivers that are going to be off strategy from a lot of different drivers out there in the field as we follow back on with Marshall Miller looking down the back of the number 26, Rachel Hart, your leader.
I think these 2 are probably going to work together unless there is a clean pass to be made. Both of them veteran endurance racers, so they know, hang it out, work together a little bit, and if there's a clean pass, make it, but don't slow each other up because you really want to gain as much advantage on the field as you possibly can. You really got to work your way through the back and get about a lap ahead to make it work.
At the same
Here's
time,
Marshall
I
on
think
the
he's
inside.
going to look at the
points it back. That's really good racing, just taking a look at it.
I think he knows he still has the pace. He's not going to have a problem passing, but just not going to be doing it unclean.
Yeah, Marshall, when he first started, he would have made that pass, stuck it, and not even thought about it. Marshall racing nowadays is one heck of a racer. Not only is he fast, he's just a genuinely good racer. As someone waves Katie by.
Yeah, they believe that was Sean Horrigan in the number 24.
It's not a bad idea. Giovanni in the pits.
Yeah, that is Sean, because Sean basically mixing it up with the leaders at this point already. Having a hard time keeping the rear wheels underneath him at that point.
Yeah, so Dominic and Giovanni are in the pits right now, just so you guys know. So there are a lot of early pit stops with this. These guys are really betting on these new batteries. So good thing they did wait.
I guess it is, yes. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting strategy.
It is very interesting that they didn't want to stay out there and keep a warm car underneath them.
Yeah.
But they weren't necessarily in lap traffic.
And it's a total opposite philosophy of what Rachel and Marshall are doing. I bet you Rachel and Marshall are going to run as fast as they can, try to get a lap ahead of everyone.
Let's stay with this battle through turn 4 here. We got Tristan and Mark. Let's stay in turn 5. Let's go back there. Turn 5, there we go. This battle right here. Got Tristan in the front. Let's go on board with Mark Davis. He's looking on the back of number 3.
There's a lot of good battles going on.
Because here's the other thing, too, is you have Katie Wise, who is going side by side now with Sean. So that basically by the alternate strategy, they've mixed themselves up in the field by putting themselves in traffic.
We've got a really good battle going on in the back.
Very interesting thought processes in the strategies. Mark Davis trying to keep some room there for the number 5 machine, Brandon Kovac.
As they go 3 wide. Ooh, trying to get squeezed out. And good inside line.
That'll
That's a
be
good
Jonathan
pass.
Douglas.
Mark tries to take advantage of that.
Giving each other a little bit of bump through turn 2. And they will single file back into turn 5.
And Marshall did get past Rachel. He is now running a 25.5 to Rachel's 25.8. So looks like Rachel's got a little bit of a gap to him out in front there. That turn 1 is tricky for a lot of people.
Get the red scoreboard up here so we can see the lap numbers. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Marshall's lap times keep coming down further and further, so he's just creating himself a nice little gap between himself and Rachel.
Basically, Mark here sitting behind the traffic of Jonathan Douglas and Brandon. They're battling it out for the 4, 5, and 6 positions. Mark's got to be careful about putting his nose down into the center of the corner like that. If he keeps bumping the car in front, he is going to lose some time.
Yeah,
So keep an eye on that. Make sure you're sweeping through as number 5 is going to throw off into the pits. That'll be Brandon Kovac.
Yeah,
So we're going to have the whole field pitted before we get underneath 20 laps.
Yeah, except for Marshall, Rachel, and Jacob. Jonathan Douglas, I don't think, is pitted either. So you've got 4 or 5 karts that are on the lead lap. And like I said, they're going to have to work their way through the field to get a lap advantage on that. Otherwise, Katie and PJ might have had the right strategy going here.
Because Giovanni has also pitted too. So he started in the number 12 and he's running number 2 right now.
Correct.
And Mark Davis now going to pit.
Is that the second time he pit?
No, it's his first pit stop,
Oh.
but I'm shocked at the number of drivers.
I'm curious about that because he started in 12, but he kart
Oh,
swapped.
we haven't refreshed that, so
Gotcha, okay.
I'm just having a problem with that scoreboard tonight.
No problem. Everybody kick in a donation so we can get our new scoreboard.
All right, let's try this instead. Yeah, okay, it's got accurate time on it this time.
Ralph, battery temp at the end of the race, 100 pound to 250 pound. Actually not that different in these new batteries at all, I can tell you.
He was saying it would be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to test it, come on out. Let's set aside a time and let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to test that with you.
So also D-Max, tucking in the straights. You'll see Armand Deligny a lot of times when he races. He does that. Katie in a really good battle here with Giovanni, I think that is, right?
That's Mark.
Oh, that's Mark
18,
Davis. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So now we have all of our pit stoppers, all of our early pit stoppers battling for position now
Let's see if
on the
Katie
14 laps.
bumping them through the straights and that. Katie's going to try and get around this.
So basically we only have 4 drivers who haven't pitted yet. We have Marshall, Rachel, Jacob, and Jonathan. Everybody else looks like Dominic on down has hit their pit stops.
Yeah, which is crazy to do it that early in the race, I think. But, hey, it's a different strategy. Katie looks on the inside of turn 1, sits on the outside for turn 2.
This is where you don't give up, Mark. Yep.
Oh, he left it open.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
Katie got right through.
She nods her head in approval of that.
Yep. Good
Spinning
pass.
to number 22 through turn 4.
Good pass.
Sean's going to follow right behind her.
And I think they're going to get themselves sorted out. I believe on Rachel, looks like she's having a little bit of fun with some people back here. Saw someone dive in. Kart 9 passes her. Jacob Ryan.
Oh, he was getting heat from behind. That's what, or she was getting heat from behind. That was the issue. Well, all 4 of those drivers have not created their pit stops yet. So,
Yeah, and Rachel running a 28.4. Very uncommon unless you're in a lot of traffic. Let's see what she does on this lap here.
Marshall hitting a 25.374. That's very close to the track record. His 9's going to peel off. That'll be a pit stop for Jacob Ryan.
He is taking his pit.
Check up on his pit stop as he travels ever so slow through the pits. When you're out on the track and you get slowed down, pit stops feel like an eternity.
Yes, they do. But that's all right. It's the same disadvantage for everybody.
Yep.
jumping on here with Kart 36. Dominic with the one-of-a-kind helmet. I've seen some multiple helmets with different drivers, but he's got one that always sticks in my head.
Yeah, there are a lot of cool helmets tonight. Even in the B main, I was surprised all the cool helmets that we had in the field.
Yeah. There's a new one that just came out that I ordered.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I love it. I can't wait.
So we'll follow this train as they round turn 1. You got Giovanni and then number 3 in front. That's Tristan. Giving Mark a little bit of pressure from behind.
Giovanni's looking for his way through on this.
Tristan looked on the inside just a little bit. He has a little bit more pace. Mark kind of driving to the corners, kind of costing him a little bit of time. Giovanni's going to sit back here and be patient, and he's going to see if anything happens between the two of them. Because that's the opportunity to sneak in, is when you got two guys battling it right in front of you.
He looked kind of on the inside of one just to see if he'd have enough pace to do it, but he backed out of it right away.
Leighton said that he would donate if he hadn't gone broke spending money at K1.
Love it.
Well, that's fine. Spend the money on the races. That's way more important. So. I was just interested in this battle to see if anything was going to happen here, but Tristan's going to give him a look on the outside. Marshall's a 25.2.
Wow.
Now, if this was a regular arrive and drive race, that would be a new track record for the indoor.
Giovanni looks on the inside.
Looking,
nope, backs out
off.
again. Keeps tucking in to see where he's going to be fastest to be able to do that. In D-Max, yes, there are penalties. There's a black flag penalty and a drive-through penalty. Everybody kind of keeps it on track, though, which is kind of nice. I like that kind of racing where, like we saw Marshall do, if you make a bad pass, just point it back.
We'll follow this train here behind Mark Davis as they round into turn 5 overhead. That's Jonathan Douglas that's gotten his nose in the mix of this.
And Mark Davis is driving a really defensive line, which is good for him. However, we can see as we pan here that it is creating quite the pileup. When this happens, you will see someone get moved out of the way.
We talked about on the 12 hours how many times, well, Tristan kind of steering into him. That wasn't correct. So we talked about how many times the field would just bunch up between a particular driver and then kind of disperse, and then a couple hours later they'd get bunched up again.
That's exactly how this is going to go, too. If nobody makes a move around Mark Davis, there'll be a train of people behind. It's very hard to stop the momentum, so we'll see a big pass or someone get pushed out a little bit.
It does look like we've still got a gap between those who are in the top 3 and not completed pit stops and everybody else who went into the pits early.
So just to give
there
you
we
guys,
go. As we talk about that, Jonathan Douglas is going to dip in there.
And Mark Davis is down in 10th place right now, so he's got a couple of people on the lead lap that are battling with him, but then he's got some guys that are on a lap ahead of him that are catching up to him now. So with the blue flags, they will have to bump out of the way for the leaders coming up behind them.
We'll see where this puts Jonathan Douglas coming out of the pits here shortly. There's a good chance that he's going to put his car in the middle of all that traffic as well, as you see Katie rounding turn 1 and everyone else behind Mark Davis. Let's look at the battle from Giovanni's point of view, as he's got Tristan right in front of him.
Bumped a little bit wide from someone on the outside there.
And I believe that's Sean Horrigan in the number 24, who is in front of Mark Davis. And he's got a little bit more of a gap now for Giovanni as we switch over to Marshall Miller and see he's got Giovanni in the front of him.
Yep. So
trying to see if he's going to push the issue or not.
Yeah, because Giovanni would have the blue flag at this point, so would everybody in front of him. So Marshall's going to politely remind him and swing through.
That was a difficult turn there,
Yes,
but handled very well, keeping the tires under grip.
Marshall making the pass here. So Marshall's coming around the field again, which is what I was hoping the leaders would do if they have a shot of still staying in the top 3, is they've got to put about a lap on them for that pit stop that they still have to take in this race.
Tristan still battling it out with Mark Davis. It's been an interesting battle at this point. You got Mark has a little bit of clear track space in front of him, but kind of bumping some walls and still holding off.
He has to drive so defensively to slow him down as we see everybody kind of getting into it here.
Yeah, that was Marshall pushing his way through traffic.
Marshall in the 13, just working his way through.
Meanwhile, you've got Katie Wise, who's sitting in the number 7 spot, pretty much cruising around.
I wanted to see, so yeah, Mark Davis was holding everybody up, and he held Marshall up for a few laps. I was wondering how he was going to get by him, because it doesn't seem like many people are able to get by Mark Davis. So we got a little battle going in here to 4, bad position to be in on the outside of that. Everybody gives everybody room. Very nice maneuvers there. And in the background there, you see Rachel Hart starting to come through. So she is still on the lead lap with Marshall, trying to work through the traffic.
Very interesting how it's been mixed up with the pit strategy.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Just did not expect that.
I can't wait to see how this plays out.
I heard a couple drivers talking about alternate strategies. I just didn't realize there were that many who wanted to dip off so early.
Very early, yeah.
Yeah, I have to think that if you didn't dip off with the rest of the leaders, as Rachel now
Hart
goes in the pit,
yep.
If you didn't dip off in the pits, that you may not be in some of this traffic. It's hard to play that out in real time. It's hard to tell for sure, but
I think
usually
you're right,
an alternate pit strategy means you're off strategy from everybody else, not you follow the strategy of everybody. So
I think as soon as Katie and PJ went in, then we saw people go, oh, maybe I will pit early, and they start jumping in early like that. So Giovanni, so a couple people have made it by Giovanni. He's still looking for an opportunity in the group of 4 drivers we see in front of us here. Giovanni's got such a nice line back there. And for 11 years old, that's insane.
Keeping it clean, too.
So Katie dives out of the way. Oof.
A couple cars going sideways.
Yeah,
but they're gonna be able
nobody knows who the blue flag is for, so they all kind of move.
Maintain positions.
And technically, Katie doesn't have to let anybody by. In this group, she's actually fighting for that position.
And Mark puts out his hand, but there's actually no place for Giovanni to go in that situation. So,
yeah, so all of these drivers here in this pack are on the same lap as PJ tries to work his way through. So PJ is the one that would get the... How's PJ on a different lap than Katie? Oh, there she just crossed the line. Okay, so
35-35.
Yeah, got it. So she's just a little bit behind. So PJ is going to be working his way through here.
And here's the battle between 2 and 18, which are the Teen League drivers. PJ's right behind.
And PJ should get the right of way here. These drivers should move out of the way for him. I'm sure they're all trying to sort it out in their heads as well. If you think it's tough to watch, imagine driving it. It's lots of fun. So, yeah, the blue flag should be enforced here for...
Yeah, PJ with
yeah.
lap traffic coming through.
It's been a couple laps. Hopefully Owen jumps on that.
There, Giovanni shows the wave by. He's going to give him a little bit of space back in 5. Well, no, PJ's going to say no, take it. So
PJ doesn't need to... Yeah, PJ,
there we go.
There we go. Okay, so it'll sort itself out.
Jonathan Douglas is going to try to squeeze through there as well, but he's still on the same lap as Giovanni. So that's a position battle right there.
As it looks like everybody else, besides this group, everybody else is just kind of cruising. So
now
let's see what happens. Mark Davis got to let PJ by. PJ will find a way through. Just like this. So good move by PJ. Mark gives him a little bump, but PJ is through. So next on the list for PJ is Dominic, and I think Dominic's got a pretty good gap there. Yep. Yeah, so he's got a few turns to make up. PJ's moving pretty quick, though.
So we'll follow here the battle with Jacob Ryan and Dominic D'Angelo. This is positions 3 and 4. You still got Marshall and Rachel up there in 1 and 2, but Marshall being the only one who hasn't pitted yet.
Yeah, I think Marshall's just trying to run as fast as he can through that field to generate a couple lap lead, and then he'll take his pit.
Trying to follow on-track battle here for Jacob and Dominic. So let's find them.
35 and 36.
Yep.
There's PJ. So in front of PJ, there they are.
Yep. Over to your left.
Nope. Now they're coming into this turn.
There we go.
So this is for third place here, and both very 25-2-5-7 for Marshall Miller. So
Fastest
again,
lap of the
fastest
race.
lap.
by far.
Yeah, he is cruising. You see Jacob tucking his head down, getting every bit of wind resistance he can get rid of. As
Yep.
Dominic looks on the inside, not able to close it out, though. Tough turns to pass in unless someone goes wide, and I don't think Jacob's going to let that happen.
Cars 35 and 36. Dominic knows better than to look on the inside. He's a little bit of hop coming through 5. He's carrying so much momentum, trying to keep up with him. And the gap is going to stay about the same as they come across the start-finish line. I was going to say for comparison, Marshall's 25.25. I'm looking down the list at the next fastest lap, and that's a 25.58 from Rachel. So a 0.3.
Oof, good move. Squeezes him out. That's a good pass. Dominic was able to finally put it in. Jacob Ryan looking back on the inside. Nope, not able to do it. So Dominic's going to be able to run away in turn 1. And that is for 3rd place. And looks like Marshall's finally in the pits. Yep, Marshall has taken his pit stop. He is the last one that needed to pit. Jumping over to Kart 23.
So they've pulled out a significant gap. Let's make sure that it's going to be enough to stay in front in the lead. So as long as there's no issue.
Yep. Oh, wait. We have a stop on track.
They're going to stop the timer for the track. I heard discussions from track marshals about the sound of one of the cars to make sure that the mechanical side of it was good. It looks like Sean Horrigan climbing out of the machine.
Sort out what's going down on track here. D-Max, no, there is no boost button for this race. However, for the pro endurance race, there will be some sort of something, faster karts. So check that out when we do it. But no, boost does significantly impact your battery life. So for a true endurance race, we do not run it. Boost nights are Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. So come check out the boost button on Thursday nights. A lot of fun. We do different track orientations, and the boost button is activated. So it looks like Sean's going to get a kart swap to kart 7 now. That's Adam and Owen there, seeing what's going on.
Yeah, I heard him say, listen to the car as it goes by. So I would assume Sean was indicating to them that something was amiss.
Grinding or something
Could be
weird.
bearing related.
Yeah.
Not really sure.
They all sound a little bit different, you know what I mean? Just the wear and tear on the kart makes it sound kind of different, but to a trained track worker, I'm sure they can tell the difference.
For sure. Yeah, they listen to these cars all day long, every day.
Yeah.
And going back on the boost question again, the bottom line is you just don't need it.
Mm-mm. Look at Marshall's time.
Yeah.
I mean, in boost, we're running 25s all the time, but that is incredibly fast. Like you said, it would be a new track record if it was actually, track record worthy. So you can't set a track record back-to-back on races. You have to, wait 30 minutes on a specific kart if you want to take that kart or whatever it is. But it has to be cold track, and go out and run it. So that's why everybody, when the outdoor track opened up, everybody was excited to go out and put out their first laps and fastest laps to get the outdoor track record for as long as they can.
You guys should start doing that, though. So much fun.
As we listen on board, looks like track worker has the official countdown as well. They paused the timer, so he has to wait in the pits.
Yeah, it looks like about 3 seconds.
Does that TV have a delay? Slight, so you can look at my phone.
Oh.
Something burnt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a true mechanical.
In that case, they heard a rattling. It might have been bearing related.
Bearings take quite abuse on these karts when they run like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
It's unbelievable. We get the life out of them that we do.
Really.
If you see the way they get driven.
I mean, to a person that isn't familiar with these karts, what is besides tires, which I'm sure you wear out a lot of, but what is the biggest wear item on these karts?
Yeah, bearings.
Bearings?
Yeah.
You figure they take the entire load of the motor and the turns back and forth, and there's a lot of different forces on that.
Yeah, there's 4 bearings across the back axle. It is a split differential, So you got a left and a right drive shaft, and the car's taken an enormous amount of abuse. We've been trying to find other solutions for bearings and try to find what's lasts longer and everything, but we have pretty much the best we could find. So
There you go. Well,
they still last a lot of races, but when you got a fleet of 36 cars times 4 bearings, you're replacing bearings all the time.
so if you're a bearing engineer out there on the chat,
Yep.
let us know. All right,
There
so
we go.
Marshall's off. Everybody's out and running.
Now, I didn't see the official launch there, but
So-
did they wait
so
3 seconds before Marshall left?
The other thing I was going to say is he wasn't on pit lane speed because he got speed 4 when they gave everybody speed 4.
That was not correct. So
That would be a
that was one
time
of the conditions we
penalty?
talked about as a possibility. We just thought it's very unlikely it's going to happen. Unfortunately, it did, with somebody being in the pits when the red flag came out.
So would that be like a 3-second time penalty on that or something? Or how do you
We'd have to-
calculate that?
yeah, we'd have to
Because he
figure
got
out
speed,
what that
his
would
cart
be.
was on, he gets speed 4, he goes through the pits. That would be something.
So let's try to figure out where
Rachel's
is.
a cart behind him, so that would have made the difference in the race. If she can get by,
Well, but he's
a
Marshall's
lap, ahead. Yeah.
So because of the time difference, I don't think it's going to matter in this case. But yes, it should be a time penalty for that type of situation.
Yeah, and Rachel's got her work cut out for her in second place there. She's got Dominic and Jacob ahead of her on the lap behind her, if that makes any sense.
Sure does.
And we've got Dominic right behind Marshall. I'm sorry, that's not Dominic. That is
Oh, the guy on screen you're talking about is
17.
Jonathan
Douglas. Sorry about that. Yep. Similar helmet.
Yeah. So as Rachel pushes through here, she would have to get past them in order to get
And then a whole lap.
their lap down. Yeah.
Yep.
To bridge that gap to Marshall.
So not a very realistic thing, but we try to make everything as close as we possibly can here. You know,
Well, Rachel is going to get by him fairly easily.
So let's see. So we've got Marshall Miller in first. Last lap was a 25.6. Rachel Hart in second, 25.7. Dominic in third, 25.6. All the way down through the board, we are running 25s and 26s across the fleet. Good to see everybody running fast. PJ Manypenny up in fifth. He started lower, 36. Katie moves out of the way.
Yeah, PJ started ninth.
So PJ's moved up 4 spots. Dominic's held on third. He qualified fourth. Basically swapped spots with Jacob Ryan there.
Jacob just qualified very well, but at race pace, I'm not too surprised that Dominic has outpaced him. You can see, even when he was battling with him, that he was able to hold some of the corners a little tighter, able to carry some of the momentum through the track, and that's always important. And that's why endurance is different than regular best lap flyers.
Yeah,
So you get to prove that how consistent can you run that.
exactly. How fast can you be, but how long can you maintain that speed?
Winner tonight will receive 25 points in the championship standings. It'll be minus 1 point for everybody else down through the list. There is that 2 bonus points for the fastest lap of the race, single bonus point for pole position, and we added that new point system for biggest mover in the race. Now we'll have to wait and see how the B main sorts out with the
first and second.
Yeah, the first who didn't pit. But if you are the biggest mover throughout the race and you've passed more than 2 people on track, which a lot of people have done tonight, you also get an additional. Oh, I'm going to forget if it's 2 or. Well, I think it's 2 bonus points. I think we said 2. It could be 1 or 2.
A lot of points up for grabs then.
I was just following on board with Marshall Miller because for any of you who just wanted to have a better idea on how to drive the track, just watch his feet. I mean, it's the perfect balance of momentum and speed from this driver here in the number 23.
His line, his entry in and out of turns is very good. Where he turns in, like you saw him turn really hard off the wall into turn 1, And like James said, his foot action with this, his pedal action is incredible. You can see both his feet moving at different points in time to help stabilize the cart.
See that lift into 5? A lot of people don't realize that lifting is so important, but look at how many times he's lifting off the throttle. So holding the throttle is not the fastest way. This is the one that really amazes me. Right here, just a touch of brake, just balances the car so well through turn 1. And that's a lap around the track with Marshall Miller.
Looks like everybody else is pretty spaced out. There's a little bit of action going on back in the carousel up to the start front straight, but Rachel's got a little bit of a gap.
She's got clean track ahead of her.
Yep. Sitting in a solid second place. Dominic D'Angelo, I don't think he's that near. On Katie Wise, she's got a little bit of a gap going too, so not too bad. Everybody's spaced out.
We'll check to go see what's going on with Giovanni here.
He's got a little pressure from Brandon Kovac there.
Brandon being a lap up on him. He will wave him by. Good movement for Brandon tonight. He started in the 7th position, so he's bumped up 1. But anybody who has been in this race has survived a little bit of traffic somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you said, though, just like in the 12 hours. Everybody bunches up at times, and then the field gets spread out, and then you're just kind of cruising. Some people jam out to music, other people just focus on their driving, listening to the cart.
Now that we've got things sorted out with Mark Davis, and he doesn't have that huge train behind him, you see that he's sorted out in 12th. But he did make it to the A main, so that's his accomplishment tonight.
Yeah, just to make it in with these drivers is great, and then put up a good defense like he has. I mean, we saw train 12 cars behind him at one point.
As Jacob Ryan will move past Katie Wise there. Just a little over 3 minutes remaining in this first round of the Endurance Series. Again, we're going to do a double weekend, so we will be back with you guys next Sunday night for the second round. This round here tonight was to make up for the month of March, which is where we ran the 12 hours. Then we'll be back on schedule for the regular 3rd Sunday of the month. The series will run for 5 additional rounds to give us a total of 6. So we split the year in half, giving you markers to the 12 hours of Canton.
Marshall getting past PJ there. PJ recognizes it, just lets him fly by. Yeah, not even going to put up a
just
fight.
Let off the throttle completely. And that's Sean Horrigan back there in the number 7 as well.
Everybody running a really good race. I've seen a lot of point backs on bad passes. It's my favorite kind of race when drivers just are very aware of what's going on, and they don't want to be, I mean, we stream it, so it's on video. You don't want to be known as the guy that makes a bad pass like that. So It's always better just to point it by and take a better shot at it. Looks like PJ is trying to get through traffic as well. Points and by, see, exactly like that. It's just, to me, that's great racing.
2 minutes remaining, and he could be looking at a top 5 if he can hold this position. Sean Horrigan also getting by Tristan there in the number 3.
Yeah, closest behind PJ is Brandon in the 21, and
that was really Mark, who was kind of off song there as they rounded turn 4. I think he was just slowed way up to let traffic by.
Rachel's trying to work her way through lap traffic here.
We talked about it in the B main. It's worth mentioning again. If you haven't driven the cars for 30 minutes straight, it is a physical workout.
Yeah, definitely.
You can see them rustling the steering wheel, especially Rachel there. It's no easy feat for sure.
It's not. You'd think it would be, but it's really not. You really have to settle the cart down. There's a lot of movement between your arms and your legs just to keep the cart as smooth as you possibly can.
I know at this point in the race, this is where my mental focus kind of goes out the window. Remember Will Nonamaker, who said you think about the laundry and you think about other different things going on in life.
Giovanni trying his best to hold off Jonathan Douglas there in the 17 behind him. Battle for 10th place.
That's the way I like about the way Giovanni handles that line is don't give up going through the corner.
Yep, and he's
especially through here.
Yep. Bumped a little bit, not too bad. He has the inside through 5. Really good driver.
All of these cars went through extensive speed testing after the new batteries to even them out as much as possible. I know the handling is different, but the motors and the batteries and the electronics on them are precision tuned down to hundredths of a second from each other.
And we've got about 10 seconds left in the race. Giovanni, is he going to be able to hold off for 10th place? I don't think there's much of crazy battles anywhere else on track. Looks like
Jonathan just hasn't had a good opportunity to pass yet. He's kind of waves by and says, yeah, that's the way that we roll tonight. If you see it's difficult to control the bounce when you're a little bit lighter driver. We talked about the heavier drivers, but the lighter drivers kind of have more of a challenge than anybody else. They don't have as much weight settling the car.
So last lap of the race, Rachel is able to pass Marshall there. I think that was just a polite thing at this point because 70 laps completed.
Is he going to pull off for the point standings? I don't see Marshall in the shot. Let's see where he ended up. Where did Marshall go?
Marshall
he is not back there.
Marshall pulled off. Someone just pitted.
He pitted, yep. So he's going to do that, I believe, for the point standings. Maybe realizing that he's not going to be running the Endurance Series and keeps the points.
That's all right.
And that will follow Rachel on board as she will inevitably become the winner as long as she can hold off Dominic, but there's no sign of him in sight.
That's a class act right there.
Checkered flag will wave for Rachel Hart, who will take the first round of the new Endurance Championship Series at K1 Speed Canton.
That's a class act. Marshall is just one of those guys nowadays, and if he's not going to run the whole series, he's not going to mess it up for people who are going to take it seriously, like Rachel and Dominic. And
seems like Rachel's still racing to the flag here.
Yeah, and Jacob was able to pass Dominic, so it'd be Rachel, Jacob, and Marshall in top 3.
Yeah, Jacob held his position. He started in front of Dom.
Oh, he did. Okay,
yep.
Yeah. Yep.
When we knocked Marshall out of that list, that puts the podium at Rachel, Jacob, and Dominic. I'm sorry, Rachel, Jacob, and Marshall.
Yep. That is awesome. Congratulations to all the drivers, A main and B main. We hope to see you guys again next week because we are running doubleheader back to back, which is unusual for Boost, Endurance, but making up for the lost month.
Do you want to see if you can grab any interviews?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
Love to. All right, so I'm going to check out real quick.
I'd love to try to talk to Mark if he's available and try to get his thoughts on the first race.
Definitely. We'll see you guys in a minute.
I'll hang with you guys. Let's see. Did we miss anything in the chat as we were watching this? That was fun to watch. Thanks, Leighton. Thanks for following along. Thanks for everybody following along tonight. We appreciate everyone's viewership. Because, it wouldn't be any fun to live stream if nobody watched. Fastest laps. All right, so Rachel's best was a 25.5. Jacob, 25.63. Marshall, 25.2. Dominic, 25.4. So Dominic having a faster single lap than Jacob, but still finishing behind. PJ Manypenny finishing in the 5th position, top 5 for him with a best lap of a 25.7. Don't always see PJ in the 25s. That was great. The final person with the best, nope, not the final. Brandon Kovac, best lap, 25.67. Katie, 26 flat. Sean Horrigan, 25.7. Tristan, 25.8. Giovanni, 25.9. Jonathan Douglas and Mark Davis, 25.8 and a 26.1 respectively. Those were best lap times that I was reading off there. All right, let's see if we can switch over to Jason. And go ahead, Jason. What do you got?
All right, so trackside, right after the A-main, I've got Mark Davis with me. So how was the race, buddy?
It was definitely fun.
Yeah?
It started falling apart at the end though.
You held off so many people, though. We watched a train of 10 different people behind you, so that was great. Really good defensive driving.
Thank you.
So what was the best part, you think?
You just like around halfway, I think.
Yeah.
Where I started like finding the line for the second cart I had.
So did you just finding the line for the cart? Do you follow a couple people that were a little faster and tweak your line a little bit?
Yeah, I followed Marshall for as long as I could.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Marshall's a really good guy to learn from, so that's great. So, so you're a rookie in the rookie class, running in the A main, so that puts you ahead in the rookie class. That's points-wise. That's awesome. So you're gonna come back and keep racing?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much, man. We'll talk to you soon. Congratulations.
Jacob, I'm sorry, Jason, there's a couple more drivers behind you if you want to check with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sean's right there in the blue hat.
Everybody passed him and then came into the pit.
All right. Cool. So we got Sean Horrigan with us.
Yep.
And how was the race, buddy?
It was pretty good. My first kart wasn't too fond of. Second kart was really, really good, but then unfortunately, I don't know if the motor failed, the battery failed, or whatever.
Yeah,
but just made it through the race. It was a really good one. So.
What was your pit strategy?
So my thought was, if I didn't like my first kart, I was just going to pit right away, gamble on the second kart. Worked out really good. Figured if I can get it done out of the way, keep some heat in the tires, then we can just go on.
That's the name of the game. How many endurance races have you run so far?
This is only my third, actually.
Nice. Okay. So cool. So in the running for the A main, which is great. You gonna come back next time?
Oh yeah.
Cool. All right. We'll see you then. Thanks,
Absolutely.
bud. Let's see who else we got. Marshall, I know you need to leave, right? What happened with what? Let's talk to Marshall, because you know what? I really want to know what was up with Marshall.
I saw 2 fucking flags of 3. So I slowed down and let everybody, because I thought it was a checker.
So you thought, so it was an accident. It wasn't just you pulling off.
No, like he legit had it. I saw it checkered in his hand. That's why I just slowed down. I was like, okay, checker. And I saw the time when I went through the carousel, it was 0. And then I saw the checkered. I'm like, oh, okay. I already had white flag. You just probably had flag. So,
so it was an accident.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Can I get my
Okay.
first place back?
So he gave up first place. So I've seen this actually in pro racing before, where someone dipped out a lap early.
I don't fucking know, dude.
Oh no. Oh man.
But 1 second though. Question. 82 seconds I saw between me and Rachel. I know she pitted, but how I didn't. There's something messed up.
I don't think so. We'll have to look through everything like we always do. But
keep me updated on that.
I will.
So I don't.
So Marshall from first to third, because he thought he saw the checker.
Second, first, third.
Second, first, third. Yeah. But congratulations, bud. Good race. I mean, you had a good gap on the field and everything, so that was good.
That kart, that last kart 23.
Yeah.
So tight. You would have loved that kart.
Really?
I was like, oh yeah.
I love it. Cool. All right. Well, that's trackside from us. We'll kick it back up to James, and I think we'll wrap up.
All right. Send it back to me to finish everything. So again, thank you guys very much for following along. We appreciate it. If you haven't already liked the stream, make sure you click that for us and subscribe, which most of you are subscribed, right? All right, good. If you weren't before, you are now. Thanks for following along. Again, we'll be back next weekend. We hope to have all the same drivers back. That would be awesome if they liked what they were experiencing tonight. Sign-ups will be first priority to those who race tonight, so they will have first dibs at the sign-ups for next week. But then they go to the website. So if you're watching this and you want to join us, sign up on the website, because that will enable us to know how many people we can race tonight. Hopefully we'll have 2 fields again tonight. So again, for the phenomenal track staff at K1 Speed Canton, my name is James. Thanks to Jason for following along. We'll see you guys in about a week.